What's up, tricksters and tricksetas, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub VOD review presented by your favorite balding coach, CHARLATAN Papito. Today at our coaching table we have our friend Coquito. I don't know if that is how you read his name, we're gonna invite him very soon. And he is an Ascendant 1, Omen main, playing on Lotus. We're immediately gonna bring our friend in, so I don't, destroy his name every single time I say it. Hello, are you there? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, bro.
Hello,
Hi,
man.
hi.
Okay, first thing is like, how do I pronounce your name? Because I already...
Coquito is fine, Coquito is fine.
Coquito is fine, okay. Okay, I'm first gonna go through all of this here that you mentioned, and then I'm gonna be asking you the questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you started playing... I started playing the game again last month. To be honest, I had never taken it seriously before, but now that I'm playing 5-stack with my friends, I've been trying to improve. Okay, good. Listen, like, first thing I want to tell you is that when you're 5-stacking, obviously, you're ranking up 10 times slower. Chances that you get against the cheaters and some insane 5-stacks is much higher. And usually, if you want to seriously rank up, 5-stacking is probably the worst way to do it, unless you're buying boosting, and you should not be doing that, obviously. So, like, what I would recommend you is to make 2 accounts. On one account, you can play with your friends and do whatever the hell you want to do. And on the second account, you play only solo queue when you're like 100% ready to play, perform, etc, etc. So make 2 accounts, one for friends, one for yourself, and that's it. I think one of my strengths is that I pay close attention to what's happening during the match. I notice how the enemies are positioned across the map, and I pay attention to my teammates' utility so we can coordinate plays. Very good. I'm also very communicative. I recorded the replay without my voice, but I usually talk a lot while playing because I try to organize the team. Okay, another strength is that I actually try to apply everything that I've learned from the videos I've watched. Okay, great. Listen, when it comes to communication in ranked solo queue, one thing I want to tell you is that you always want to make sure that your comms are clean, and that you want to make sure that even an iron player can understand what he should be doing. Like, if you try to organize your team as too much, like, and giving them too much comms, a lot of times, the rounds are not really going to play out how you imagine. So make sure that every single plan that you make, you can tell it in less than 3 sentences that are very short. Like, hey guys, let's go. Hey, Clove, drop the smokes here and here. Do this, do that. Like, very, very simple. Especially, and this also is very important depending on the servers that you play. Like, for example, in Europe, like, Europe is just an example, where you need to really be very concise and very, very, like, efficient with the way that you communicate and organize your team. Our friend is not from Europe. Where are you from? From Peru, right?
Yeah, I'm from Peru. I play in the Santiago server, so
I
don't know if you have experience on that.
On which servers do you play?
In Santiago server.
Santiago. What was that like? That's Latam, right?
Yeah, that's Latam.
Okay. Experience there is usually a bit lower. The quality of the matches is
Oof.
almost similar to Australia. Not gonna lie. So yeah. But from my experience, every single player that I coached in Latam, they easily got Radiant because, like, I think the threshold is like very low there, like 200 rank rating or something like that, or at least it was in the past, and the players are, in terms of the individual skill, just a bit worse, because obviously your player base is much lower than on servers such as Apex servers, EU servers, and NA servers, but NA is not that better, to be honest. So yeah, my weaknesses are that I sometimes make really stupid plays on my own, and my aim is very inconsistent. Okay, when it comes to the mechanical problems, we will be covering them during a VOD review a bit. I'm not gonna go too deep into them, because at the end of this VOD review, I'm gonna take 24 hours to make some kind of a training, and to make some kind of mechanical training for you as well. So you will get some kind of aim training from me that you're gonna be doing for the next, I don't know, 4, 8, 12 weeks, and most of your mechanical problems we're gonna fix through the training. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, but at other times it's terrible. I also feel like I reach a point during the match where I no longer know what to do to win. I struggle to come up with ideas or figure out how to exploit the enemy team's weakness. This is what I mentioned, like, you know, in the track review that I did recently. You know, considering, you know, how much you don't play Valorant, let's be honest, during some of the acts, you know, we can definitely have a bit of a problem when it comes to your game knowledge and overall adaptiveness and awareness in the game. Like, game knowledge might be a huge problem for you, because a lot of the acts and a lot of the episodes you kind of skipped. The meta is shifting a bit, changing a bit, you know, like every single act, every single year, and also like players are getting worse every single year somehow, and you always need to come up with different solutions and different strategies to win those matches. So like, and also, you know, what's very important in Valorant is that you're consistent in everything that you're doing. You know, the way that you play the game, the agents that you play, the way that you train, how much you're playing the game overall. That consistency is very important, so that your overall adaptiveness, decision making, and game sense is always, you know, staying at relatively high levels. Basically, you know, one of the worst things that you can do when you're playing Valorant is exactly what you are doing here. For an example, you know, like in one act you dropped 200 hours. 68, and then like you had literally 4 acts with sub 50 hours. You know, it's impossible to grind Valorant like this, because Valorant is really a game where that feeds onto consistent playtime. Like, and players that play every single act consistently will rank up faster than players that do something that you did here, for an example. So what I would recommend you, if you're really serious right now about playing Valorant and grinding and trying to get better, is try to connect 2, 3, 4 acts in a row, where you play like, I don't know, 3 ranked matches per day, every single day. Or, you know, dropping at least like, I don't know, 180 matches in every single act that you play. Especially because after this VOD review, I'm gonna give you some kind of a training that you're gonna be doing. It would be really nice if you know, use this experience to potentially reach Immortal, or maybe even Immortal 3 until the end of this year, because you really seem, you know, like, considering how much you're not playing the game, like, it's not even bad that you got Ascendant 1 here, like, in this side. But also another problem is, like, it kind of seemed that you brute forced your way into Ascendant, and that you really didn't fix that many problems in your gameplay during this run, at least, because, you know, your win rate is a bit of an abomination, KD as well, so we probably have a lot of issues right here. Okay, the agent I play the most is Omen. I enjoy being creative and finding ways to surprise the enemy, but I feel like my lack of mechanical skill is preventing me from ranking up. Okay, we'll see. Monitor, which monitor you have exactly, Brent?
It's like LG monitor. Yeah, it's kind of sucks, but it works.
Yeah. Not the reason that you're not Radiant, but okay, you know, maybe in the future you can consider changing it, but try to get at least Immortal 3 before you even consider changing your monitor. Razer Gigantus V2 is not that good of a mousepad, but once again, not a problem. Like, not the reason why you're here. Razer Viper V3 Pro is fine. Oh, this is actually hyperspeed. This is the one with the batteries, right?
Oh, wait.
Is this mouse with the batteries in it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like I tried that mouse, and to be honest, like, it's not that good. Like, I don't know why you bought this one over some of the other options that are in the same price range. But once again, might not be the main problem here, because the problem with that mouse is that weight balancing, it feels kind of bad. At least it felt for me, because of the stupid batteries, and and that really throws off at least my aim quite a lot. I just think that there are far better wireless options than Viper V3 Hyperspeed. Like, I mean, for Christ's sake, like, Viper V4 Pro is like 10 times better than this mouse. But once again, probably not the reason why we are not Radiant at this moment of time. Keyboard is fine. Settings, okay, I'm gonna check them later. Sensitivity a bit higher, okay. Scope sense 066, okay. And we got the tracker of the match. Okay, let me just check the tracker quickly. So this actually really played a lot of games. I'm gonna keep it very simple here. Every single stat of yours is an absolute abomination and really, really bad. So we have a lot of the problems that we need to fix. Now, what is a good thing here is that usually I have one training that I give to the players like you that works the best. So already, even without a VOD review, I have in mind something that I'm gonna share with you that's gonna help you quite a lot in the next 3 to 4 months, just to elevate some of these numbers a bit higher. And usually, you know, this is not really a mechanical problem. You know, like when you see such a low numbers right here, like usually the problems range from knowledge, game sense, adaptiveness, how you play the game, structure, all the way to mechanics. But mechanics is like just one of your issues right now. Another problem here is, I mean, the agents, like, you know, I mean, if you enjoy playing Omen, I have nothing against that. We can continue playing Omen. I don't really know why you play Viper. I know they should probably play Viper only on Breeze, but it is not necessary on the new Breeze, and definitely not necessary in the Elo and ranks where you're playing right now. Like, if I was playing in Diamond lobbies and low Ascendant lobbies, I would still play Omen as a main controller all the way up to Immortal 3, and maybe even after Immortal 3 as well at this moment of time. So you really don't need to force yourself onto Viper, but considering that you're finding some high win rate on the Viper on Breeze, like, you can do whatever you want to do. I just think that it's easier to carry the games with Omen at this skill level. Yeah, I really cannot find any silver lining here when it comes to your stats. Like, things are looking really rough. So we'll definitely need to watch the VOD and see what's actually going on. And with the training, we need to focus just on a few set of problems. When it comes to loadouts, yeah, yep. Once again, one thing I'm gonna tell you is, like, try to focus on better weapon versatility. Like, better weapon versatility equals more solutions for different problems. The sooner you master using every single weapon in the game, the sooner you will start carrying more matches and having more solutions for different problems, and potentially, you know, like, winning more rounds and taking more kills. Especially the weapons on which I want you to pay more attention are the Marshal, Operator, Bulldog, Outlaw, Stinger, Bandit, and Bandit. You have way too many kills on Vandal and Phantom compared to all of these other weapons, and you definitely need to expand your playstyle a bit more and your versatility a bit more. Listen, like, just like, you know, test things out. Right now, you really have nothing to lose. Like, you're just in Diamond Ascendant, like, literally, basically, as you're trying to get better as a player, like, how many games you win or lose right now really doesn't matter, as long as you are getting better as a player. Like, once the things click in, once you become a better player, you will be ranking up from Iron to Immortal 3 in a matter of just a few weeks, essentially. Like, don't be afraid to experiment, don't be afraid to learn new things. Like, that's all the process, you know, that every single player needs to go through. And it's better that you learn from the games and from the mistakes that you make than just, you know, randomly spamming your matches and hoping for the best. Phantom also works a bit better for you than Vandal, at least at this moment of time. Like, the 0.7 and 0.8 difference is actually significant when it comes to the amount of kills that you get per round. So one thing that you can maybe consider is maining the Phantom instead of the Vandal at this moment of time. But every single player should master using both weapons. Just, you know, maybe for the next 8 weeks, what you can try, every single time when you have an option to pick up the Phantom, pick up the Phantom instead of the Vandal. Other than that, we really need to see the gameplay here, because you are really all all over the place, not gonna lie. And as I already mentioned, I would definitely advise you to make a second account where like you only play solo and you only play when you're 100% ready to win, play, and perform. Especially because, you know, when you play solo, like, you obviously suffer the most. You're not able to find the solutions, you're not able to carry those matches, and the only way to fix this problem is basically developing yourself as a player. Like, you're not really going to learn how to solo carry if you're in a 5-stack, trio stack, and duo stack 20. I mean, that's not really a stack, just duo queue, trio queue, and 5-stack 24/7. Players that grind solo usually develop much faster than players that are grinding in a 5-stack or trio queue. Now, we'll see right now what's happening to you. Like, as I already mentioned, like, a lot of these stats are really bad, and you might have enormous amount of problems in your gameplay. Can you share me your screen on Discord? I wanna test you a bit for a second, and I wanna go through your settings.
Okay. Let me open that game because I didn't.
All good, all good. The thing is, a problem to have low headshot percentage. Overall headshot percentage doesn't matter that much because you're using operator, you're using judge, Bucky, shorty, plastic pistol, etc., etc. But with a Vandal and Phantom, you know, you really need to be at around 30% of range.
Okay, so
Do you like experimental sharpening? Yeah, like it is 10 times better playing with that option on than off. Father, welcome. Welcome, Father. Swoop Valorant, welcome. Tips for not tilting. There's nothing to tilt about, man. Like, you make a mistake, correct it next time. Your teammates are stupid, you can change them. Try to adapt, that's it. You tilt a match, take a break, come back tomorrow or after 3 hours. Reset yourself. Look at your teammates as not 4 bots. You're playing the game with 4 bots against 5 bots. You're trying to win a match and trying to adapt to 4 of your bots, AI intelligence, and try to find the solutions, and that's it.
okay.
You think too high headshot percentage is bad? Sometimes it can be bad, but you know, usually it should not be a problem. Okay, very good, very nice. How do I watch this stream? Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do right now, I want you to kill the bots from easy to medium to hard while you're strafing. Like, move around.
Like this?
Yeah, like that. Like, try to kill them with the movement of it. Easy, medium, hard. Easy, medium, hard. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
You press F2, you know, like, and you change. You go easy, medium, hard.
Okay, yeah, you mean okay, sorry.
Yeah. The bots should be spawning. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, like this,
That's fine. Everything is fine. What are we doing, chat? What segment is this? This is the segment where I show you my penis. Papito, I panic in fights. Don't panic.
yeah.
Log reveal. Okay, brother. Is Alam's mouse good? Ah, they're fine. From my experience, like, there's some good options. Yeah. Okay. Okay, go medium. It's where Charlatan doesn't have to play Summit. Hey, we won the last match on Summit. Now we are only 6-10 on that map.
Hey, fine.
Is there a mouse you would recommend for anybody? Probably Viper V4 Pro, like, to be honest, it's also one of those potato shapes where that should be suitable for anyone, but not as potato as Logitech. Super light.
Oh. They, no, really,
Okay.
in hard difficulties is
No,
really, really
all good.
complicated.
All good, man. Like, we're here to learn, we're here to get better, like, you'll get better anyways. Listen, I want you to do the same thing, but this time, you're just gonna stand still, okay? Like,
All the three challenge?
What?
You mean all the three phases? Like,
Yeah, like, you're gonna go easy, medium, hard again, but this time you're not gonna move at all. Like, you're just gonna stand still.
okay.
Only right hand. That's what she said. Funny guy. Chat, I won 7 out of 8 my promo games in Deadlock. And I got put in Sentinel 5, bro. I just need to win 154 games in a row to get Eternus. Ah, nothing. Breeze. Walk through the park. But I was not playing on my main Eternus account. I was actually playing on my main Steam account. For the Kovacs and everything else. Yeah, you can go medium. Okay, hard. Well, your right hand definitely works better than your left hand. A bit sus, not gonna lie. Okay, press escape. I wanna see your settings. Go to general.
Okay.
Scroll up. Okay, red the default. Blah 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 blah. 0.17 at 1600, right?
Hmm.
No, are you playing on 1600 DPI?
100. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scroll down a bit. Scroll down. Always show inventory. Turn that option on.
Which one?
Always show inventory. Fourth in that paragraph.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Scroll down. Show spectator count. Turn that off. You don't need it. Okay, go to controls. Scroll down a bit. Go to equipment. Go to actions. Go to actions. Go back to actions. Control sections. Control actions. Yeah. Wait. So you have a mouse wheel up for toggling the scope on the operator and for jumping. How does that work? Please show me. No, please show me. How do you do that?
No, I don't really use like the wheel of the mouse. I just like.
Okay, press escape.
With
Press escape. Press escape. Go to equipment. Go up. Change that toggle zoom level to something else. Something that you can easily hit with your left hand, like CV, left alt X. Bro is in phase. Phase clan. That's good. You need to use this option when you're trying to get better with operator. It's very important that you have this freedom to choose which scope you want to use. I will share with you some videos that are going to explain how to use operator a bit more efficiently and better, and you need to master this weapon. Go up a bit. Go down. What do you use number 2 for?
For nothing.
Okay.
To be honest, for nothing.
Put. Okay, scroll down. Auto equip skips melee on. Turn that option on. Use spike, put it on 2 instead of 5 now.
Okay.
Use no. The last option down. Almost the last one. Okay. Can we relax for a second? Deep breaths. Okay. Let's go together. Now, auto equip skips melee on. Great. Scroll down now. Use spike 2.
Okay.
Great. Communication. Yeah, great. Tactical calls in the chat. Enable that option on. I'll teach you why is that important. Go to video. Scroll down a bit. Graphics quality. Anisotropy filtering, 8x. Improve clarity on. Experimental on. Bloom, you can put it on. Fuck it, like, it doesn't matter that much. Put it on. Go to stats. Scroll down. You have a paragraph called input latency. You see down? Input latency. Literally,
Okay.
Enable everything text only. Press escape. Get out of the scope, please. I don't see anything.
Okay.
It's not the scope. Like, I just don't see because of Discord, bro. Let me just zoom in here. Okay, looks fine. Disable all of this shit. Bro is in phase. Audio. Voiceover. VoIP Duck's flavor voiceover, enable that option. Basically, when your teammates are talking, last option. When your teammates are talking at the same time, when Cypher is telling some stupid joke, Cypher is gonna be muffled and muted a bit, and your teammates are gonna be loud and clear, and that's it. Okay. What did you also say, like here, like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You can stop sharing the screen now. Okay. Now, let's jump into this game. Just a second. By the way, today I don't have time to finish the whole VOD review. we're just gonna finish one side, and we're gonna finish this VOD review on Monday, if that is okay.
Okay.
By the way, chat, I'm not from Russia. I'm just using a VPN here. Like, I don't know why am I watching whatever the fuck is that down there. So yeah. Just a second. Defender side, Omen. You can just use right click for that. No. Because with the right click, you need to go in, out. In, out. When you have a toggle zoom level, you can switch between the scopes while you're scoped in. So you have one less key input when you need to clear the angle. We knew you were in the KGB. You have one less key input when, like, you need to clear the angle. I'm gonna show you right now. So, what this option allows you to do is the following. Like, you have the operator. I'm holding this angle with a double scope. Let's say an enemy is close, and he wanna peek me right now. I'm not gonna fight with that enemy with a double scope. I'm instantly gonna do this. Have bigger FOE, faster sensitivity. It's a lot easier killing the target that is close to me. That's one of the examples why this is important, but there's like 10 other examples that I can make up right now. Now, let's start with the VOD review. So, first things first, before you even join a match of Valorant, you need to have some kind of a plan, how you want to play the map, what you want to do with your team comp, enemy team comp, and what you should expect. All of this is covered in my ranked playbook, but let's cover the most important stuff. So, Lotus on the defender side is a slow rotation map, meaning that from the round number 5, you need to rotate based on... you need to play based on whatever the hell happened in the first 4 rounds. You know, like, you need to make your decisions purely based on how the enemies played, and whether or not the enemies like to lurk, flank, fight for the space, how much they like to fight for the space, how good are their executes, etc, etc. Like the first 4 rounds on Lotus, you can play fully passively. You don't need any A-main control, B-main control, C-long control. That doesn't mean that you're not trying to get the picks here. It's simply like, we should not be wasting our utility for taking this space because you have no idea how enemies are going to play, and we just might waste our utility that is very useful for the retakes, especially for the first round. Now, in the first 4 rounds on Lotus, play fast rotations. On the first contact between your team and the enemy team, make some kind of a move. Just go. But from the round number 5, if you notice that enemies every round like to fake A, go C, fake C, go A. They like to rotate a lot. They like to default a lot. They like to, you know, Cypher likes to lurk every single round. From the round number 5, you need to play a bit slower. And you need to practically trust your teammates a bit more. And you need to be really correct what the enemies are going to be hitting next based on the previous round information. Now, when it comes to Lotus, first default site is A, secondary priority C, third priority B. On the B side, generally speaking, you play whenever you have no idea where the enemies are going to go next, and you want to play fast rotations between A site and C site. On the B side, you also play whenever enemies on the attacker side are eco, hull buy, or bonus. Like, basically have a low buy, essentially. Also, first round, you always play on A. If you lose the first round, second round you play on the A set again. If you win the first round, second round you play on the B side. Those are the initial rules that we follow on Lotus. Everything else is, you know, purely depends on how the match is going and what's happening in a game. Just a second, I just fucked up my Opera Winfrey. So this is the game, this is the Valorant. Good. Okay. So in this first round with Omen on Lotus, you have a lot of different ways how you can play this first round with Omen. Number one thing that you can do, you can buy a bandit, buy 2 smokes, hold this angle, and on this angle you're just trying to go for a one tap. Just one tap. Like, you see the first enemy, you're doing this, dropping a smoke for your teammates and for yourself, and instantly rotating on the site to help your teammates out, and just playing with your allies. If enemies are not coming A, you're just playing a fast rotation immediately, and you're dropping the smokes for your teammates on the C side, B side, wherever the hell enemies are going next. Now, option number 2, you can play some kind of a classic shorty strategy. Like, basically, you can try fucking up the enemies with a shorty here, around this smoke. You can try fucking up the enemies here with a shorty as they're opening the doors and going through the tree area of the map. You can try fucking up the enemies with this cabin position smoke, going in and out, dodging the enemy's utility, taking 1 kill, switching to the classic pistol, and then resetting yourself. When you're playing this strategy, you have 2 buy options. You can go for the classic light shield, shorty, and 1 shrouded step, or you can go for the classic shorty, 2 smokes, paranoia, and 1 shrouded step. Also, there's like 3-4 other options that I mentioned in my playbook. You can just take a look at them later on the Discord server. And yeah, that's pretty much how you play the first round on Lotus in ranked solo queue, and what you should always be doing. Now, as I already mentioned, like, at the start of this game, you need to have some kind of an idea what enemies are gonna do, how you should play, and what we should be doing in this match. So, your team comp is pretty good on this map. Like, we're able to fight for Omen, able to fight for everything on both attackers and defender side. We should not have that many problems. Enemy team comp is also okay. You know, it's not the most optimal team comp, but it's whatever, like, to be fair. Because enemies have 2 sentinels, in this match, like, we can easily pre-assume from the round number 1 that enemies are definitely gonna have at least 1 guy that is gonna try to go for some solo picks, flank, lurk, and do some bullshit like that. Usually what players like to do when they have Chamber in the team, Chamber is gonna go for a solo peek in the aim in area of the map, which you can easily punish with a bandit and just rip his head apart as he's going for that stupid peek, while these 4 players are gonna be going towards the C site. So that is one thing that we can expect in this first round. That's gonna happen, especially because you don't have a hardcore sentinel on a defender side, meaning that enemies are probably gonna think that pushing C site might be a bit easier in this first round. So in this first round, what is also not a bad idea for you to simply set up on C site and play C site with these type of team compositions, but you're not making a mistake by playing on the A side because, let's be honest, like, you know, chances that enemies go A or C in the first round is like 50-50, but retaking A site is 2 times harder than retaking C site in the first round. Now, when it comes to like everything else, like, you know, as I said, like in the first 4 rounds on Lotus, you don't need to fight aggressively for the map. It's actually diabolical to fight for the aim and control in the first 4 rounds, because if you can just destroy the enemies at the choke points and they have bad executes, like, that's a free match essentially. You should start fighting for the aim and control when you notice that control is actually becomes the problem. Like, you know, enemies have some really good team composition with which they are taking the space really easily on the attacker side. I don't know, they have like a breach plus fade plus raise plus Omen plus like I don't know, Cypher for example, or Killjoy, and they're just swarming you with utility on the bomb sites. You cannot keep the site control whatsoever. We're losing the bomb sites like this. That is when you start fighting for the aim and control and for more space. Here, there's really no reason to do that. As I can see here, you're going for a classic shorty setup. Just when you're doing this setup, without a shield, you never buy 2 shrouded steps. You buy 2 smokes, paranoia, and 1 shrouded step. You know, paranoia is a bit better than 2 shrouded steps, to be honest. Now here, what you need to, like, listen. This is the point where you kind of need to adapt. You know? Like here, if I already see that my teammates are gonna fight for this aim and control, and they're not listening to me, like, first thing I would say to my teammates here is like, guys, don't fight for the aim and control. Please. Now, if they listen, I'm gonna continue with my plan. With a shorty. But if they don't listen, I would actually sell this shorty, go for a bandit, go for 2 smokes, and just fight for the aim and control. That's why you don't want to drop this weapon on the ground before you see and notice like how your teammates want to play this first round. Because this short is just pointless right now, because we might not even have a chance to use it. Raze is gonna fight, Phoenix is gonna fight, Tejo is gonna fight. I mean, I cannot sell these two guys, just 3 guys, just to kill one enemy with a shorty in the smoke. And also, what's very important in this one is that you buy a Paranoia, since we're taking the aim and control aggressively. So here, you know, what we should be doing is like basically dropping a... First of all, you should ask your Tejo where the hell he's gonna use the rockets, because, you know, if he's gonna use a rocket here, we don't need a Paranoia for this area of the map. If he's gonna use a rocket here, then we should basically use a Paranoia that looks like this, covering this whole area of the map here. Then we can teleport towards the rubble, and from the rubble we can engage the enemies together with our Raze and just take this space completely. Usually this is a waste of utility for the first round. Like, literally there's no reason to take aim in space or to fight like this in the first round of Lotus, but if your teammates want to do it, it's better to support them than let them die for nothing. Very, very good that you sold your Paranoia, but you should have kept one... sold your Shrouded Steps, but you should have kept one Shrouded Step and a Paranoia. And here, as I said, like, there needs to be some level of communication here. You really need to ask your Tejo where he is gonna drop the rockets, so he can drop the Paranoia. So basically here, Tejo, are you using a rocket here? Yes, Mr. Omen. You're dropping a smoke here, dropping this Paranoia, and we're just taking this space. And that's it. For free. Like, there's no way that enemies come out. If Raze comes out, you know, after this Paranoia, you can also teleport behind the rubble. No one is gonna be here because of the Paranoia and rockets. You can just instantly focus on triple shotting and killing this guy together with your Raze, and that's it. Like here, you know, I don't know why you're hiding here, or like what are we doing exactly? Like here, you should just be fighting with your teammates, and that's it. Let me see. Where did your Tejo even drop the rockets? Like, what's going on here?
I think the main. Yeah.
Okay. This Paranoia was like, whatever. I mean, like, you know, Chamber died here already. You already have a 4v3 numbers advantage. Like, in a situation like this, you know, we're fighting with like 4 teammates for this aim and control, especially the first pistol round. You really don't want to waste your Paranoia like this. Like, here we could have just killed this Chamber and these enemies like together and finished this round. Also, you know, once you take this aim and control, especially in the first round, like, just purely adapt to whatever your teammates want to do at that moment of time. Like, if your teammates want to push this with them. If your teammates want to go back and play passively, and you can instantly rotate towards the C site or B site once you take the aim and control. This is something that you should never do. Like, basically, whenever... So, here, yes, we have info that enemies are rotating from A to C. I mean, Chamber got that info for us at this moment of time. But, whenever you have teammates with yourself, especially at these lower lobbies, like Diamond and Low Ascendant, if they want to push with you, let them push first. When you have no idea where are the enemies and where they might be at that moment of time. Like, we're baiting our teammates for the greater good because you have absolutely no fucking idea who are you playing with. Are your teammates actually capable of refragging you at that moment of time? And are they gonna, you know, if you die from this gecko in the smoke, for an example, are they gonna take this refrag and win this round for you? Also, another reason why you should be baiting your teammates a bit more in the early rounds is for a chance to play on a proper refrag potential. Like, one problem in ranked solo is like that you just never know if your teammates are gonna take a fight once you take a fight. When are they gonna swing? How are they gonna swing? How are they gonna fight? But if you let your teammates fight first, and you are ready to fight with them, you know that you will take that fight. I mean, you're in control of your own hands and then fortune and whatever the fuck you're doing at that moment of time. So here, if you need to push through a smoke like this, and you have no idea if an enemy is inside of this smoke, and we need to clear some area of the map like this, let the Phoenix go first into the smoke, and just be ready to fight with him in less than half a second.
Okay.
This was pretty interesting, not gonna lie. So what's the problem here? The problem here is like you went for way too many triple shots. Like, you know, going for 2 triple shots is totally fine. But third triple shot already goes to Jesus L. Christus. You know, like if you miss 2 triple shots with a classic, third one is not an option, and you need to go for like 1-taps in order to reset the recoil a bit. Like, you know, if you do this, you see the third one is like literally the full-on gamble. Like and also not to mention, like, what did you do? Bam. So first you went for, like, with the classic pistol, if you want to go for a triple shot, you just instantly go for a triple shot. Like, take a look at your gunfight here again. So we go here into the smoke. You go for a you go for a 1-tap. Or what did you do here? Like, was this a 1-tap? Just a second. How many bullets are there in this pistol? Okay, so here, you go for 1 bullet. Then you go for a triple shot. Then you go for another triple shot. Then another triple shot. And then another triple shot. Like, just look just look at the bullet spread. So, already, the second triple shot was a full-on gamble, because the recoil built up because of this 1-tap that you did here. So, if you want to triple shot the enemies that are close to you, like, you only go for maximum 2 triple shots, and then you go for the spam. Or make a bit of a gap, time gap, in between the triple shots. So, you want to triple shot this gecko. You see? Like, now my bullets are staying in the range where, like, you know, there's a huge chance if a gecko is here, I'm actually gonna hit him in the head and delete him here with 1 or 2 triple shots. Like, strafe, you know, strafe for 1 step, 1 step, 1 step, 1 silent step, silent step, silent step, silent step, and that's it. But if you're just, you know, spamming the triple shots, like, I mean, like, that's a full-on gamble, and like, there's just no fucking way. I mean, you could have gotten a kill like that, but you're just literally relying on RNG and luck to get a kill. To get a kill like that. But one thing that especially fucked you up here is, like, you know, you went first for a bullet, bam, and then you went for 2 consecutive triple shots. Like, you just built up that recoil. No, not recoil, like bullet spread, sorry, like, for no reason. And that's why we whiffed all of these bullets. Just for now, like, you know, whenever you're fighting enemies in a close range fights, and you want to fight them with a triple shot, with a right click of classic pistol, make a time gap of like 1 silent step in between the shots. So, bam, 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 bam. That's it. Okay. One thing that I already don't like here is how much you're focusing on the kills instead of focusing on objectives and numbers advantage. Like, here, you kill the gecko, you got the spike. Where are you swinging? Where are you going? Like, this round should already be over in your head. This round is done. I have a 3v1 numbers advantage. I can play with my Tejo. I can wait for Chamber to do whatever the fuck Chamber wanna do, or to maybe reset towards us. Your only objective when you make a 3v1 numbers advantage is to figure out how can you convert that advantage into a round win in the easiest and most painless way possible. And the most painless way possible is usually by fighting with your teammates. So already by swinging this angle, you're exposing yourself to an unnecessary risk that you don't need to take. Like, right now we can pretty much just, you know, jump spot this angle to get a brief info if the clove is close, hold this position while our Tejo is behind us, covering us up, and that's it. And we also just wait for the Mr. Chamber to do whatever the hell. I mean, chamber doesn't matter at this moment of time. We have a spy here, we have a Tejo, we can easily play a 2v1 and just win this round. This fight here, and I mean this swing that you did here, is something that can cost you an enormous amount of rounds and enormous amount of, yeah, rounds in the future, basically. Like here, also, like, you know, when you end up in a 3v1, any numbers advantage. Like, always play with your most aggressive teammates that have the highest chance of dying, or the teammates that are the closest to you at the end of the day. Here, once again, I don't know where you're going for. Like, fuck the pistol. You don't need any better pistol than Classic to win this round. All you need to do is hit a few body shots or maybe a headshot onto this glove, fight together with the Tejo, and we win this round. Like, the only way for us to lose this round is to give this glove 3 1v1s.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Here, if the Tejo died, Clove overhealed, killed your chamber, you would have ended up potentially in a 1v1 with 48 HP, and then you need to pull the round out of your ass. Like, as soon as you develop any advantage in Valorant, no matter how big or how small that advantage is, always try to convert that advantage in the easiest way possible. And the easiest way possible to win the rounds in Valorant is by fighting together with your teammates. Now, I already mentioned that second round, you always play on the B site if you win the first round, because chances that enemies are going to do something around the A-Link and B site are around 80% in this second anti-eco round. And when it comes to the buy option, this is also a bit criminal, not gonna lie. So you save the bandit from the last round. So, whenever you win the first round in Valorant, your first thing that you focus on buying in this second anti-eco round is the heavy shield. So, first you buy a heavy shield, then you analyze which gun you wanna buy. Like, which strategy you wanna perform. Like, if I want to save money for the operator, and I want to have the easiest chances of winning this second round, I'm going to get a Marshal. Marshal Bandit, Heavy Shield with Utility, is a really good combo to win the round number 2, and a really good combo to carry into round number 3. We can also go for a Stinger, Heavy Shield Utility, and a Bandit. We can use Bandit for long range gunfights, while we can use the Stinger for close range gunfights. We can also go for the Bulldog and Heavy Shield, which is the most optimal option in Valorant. And the only time when you don't get a Heavy Shield in a second anti-eco round is if you want to play the Outlaw and you don't have the money for the Heavy Shield. But in your example, where you save the Bandit, the best option would be Bandit, Stinger, Heavy Shield Utility, or Bandit, Heavy Shield, Marshal Utility. With the Marshal, you just go for the body shots. You know, we can hold this angle at the start of the round, kill one guy, kill another guy, get onto another safe angle, kill another guy, and you just go for 5 body shots, win the round, and that's it. Then in the third bonus round, you can still just focus on hitting the body shots, going for jiggle picks, and dealing as much damage as possible that your teammates can easily convert into the kills and round win. But this second anti-eco round, playing with a Regen Shield or Light Shield, makes absolutely no sense, because you're just putting yourself in a disadvantage. If enemies force up the Bandits in this round, you're dead almost on any range on Lotus. If enemies force up a Sheriff, you're pretty much dead on any range if the enemies hit a headshot. So there's absolutely no, you know, it's kind of stupid, especially on a defender side, to buy up like the Regen Shield or Light Shield in the second anti-eco round, and to save, you know, 450 credits for absolutely no reason. You know, you're just risking losing this round for nothing. The second round, you always play on the B site. Always. And you always play fast rotations, because we still don't know where the enemies are gonna go, and chances are a bit higher that in this round, enemies might go B or do something around the B link. So right now, what you should be doing is killing this raise in the B main area of the map, and rotating towards your teammates on A site. Once your teammates on A site get the info that enemies are, you know, in the A main area of the map. Also, how you should have positioned in this round, we should have played in the B main area of the map like this. Like getting the early info about the enemies, so we know when should we rotate, and, you know, so we get one additional angle to potentially fuck up the enemies as they're scaling through the B main area of the map. Here, this should be an instant rotation from you. Like, in the first 4 rounds, make fast decisions. Like, before you figure out how the enemies are playing and what they're doing. Here, your Phoenix and Tejo saw, I don't know, like 1 or 2 enemies on the minimap going towards the A side. Especially if they saw the Sentinels. Instant rotation. Let's go.
Okay.
Good smoke. Oh. Well, we... Just a second.
Yeah, don't worry.
So already, you know, what we can notice is that your team play is maybe not the best. Like, you need to focus a bit more on what your teammates are doing rather than what you want to do, and rather than hunting for the guns and kills. And second thing that we can notice is that your early decision making based on the maps that you're playing and based on economy, not really the best, and you need to dive into the playbooks a bit deeper and fix some of this early positioning of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like here, you should not be giving up this space. You know, like whenever you're in the numbers disadvantage, no matter like which type of a round you're playing, whether it is anti-eco, full buy, or eco, you know, playing with your teammates is not your highest priority. Your highest priority is like figuring out how you can get the easiest kills yourself, and how you can abuse the weapon that you're using at that moment of time in the most efficient way possible. Like right now, you should be willing to take these 50-50 fights against the enemies, because enemies are still playing an eco halberd round, eco round, and you have a huge advantage over them because of the Spectre, and we can still fuck them up with a paranoia as well. I also need to ask you, like, where did we lose? Ah, yeah, you lost the first smoke because of that one way.
Yeah.
And especially in these type of situations, you don't want to play with your teammates. Like, whenever there's 3 of you guys on the map, no matter if you're playing a 3v1, 4v1, or something like that. Sorry, if you're playing 3v1, 3v2, 3v3, 3v4, 3v5, 2 players play together. 1 player needs to take control of some other area of the map and needs to make the pressure somewhere else. Like right now, you rotating onto the tower and playing with the Phoenix and Raze is actually a mistake. You're gonna lose a lot of time. We're gonna lose a lot of space in this waterfall area. Enemies can sneak into the spawn, sneak into the waterfall, sneak into the CT, and God help us winning this round. Like, all you need to do in a situation like this is just hold this angle, disallow the enemies to get into the CT, and when your teammates on the tower get close to scale out and engage enemies on the B side, we just pop out together. We can drop some kind of an improvised paranoia for our teammates. Like, for an example, you know, the smoke is refreshing, so we can drop a smoke here. Maybe drop a paranoia for the bottom of the site, or go all the way here and drop paranoia for the bottom and the right side, and then scale up with our teammates. Maybe drop a paranoia for this angle and the bottom as well. We go out, focus on clearing this angle. Our teammates are dropping down. We can clear the A-link together, and then that leaves us only with the B main area of the map to clear out. So this is a huge mistake that you're making here, because now, not only that our retake is really slow, number 1. Number 2, we lost all of the info in that CT and waterfall area of the map. And number 3, just tell me how 3 of you guys are going to move through such a narrow choke point and retake this bomb site right here. Like, three players going through this position against enemies that are eco. That's a suicide, essentially. Like, so,
Yeah,
whenever you end up in a disadvantage in Valorant, whether it is numbers disadvantage, economy disadvantage, literally, it doesn't matter what type of disadvantage it is, don't be afraid to fight alone, but try to make the fights work in your favor. In this example, no matter which type of a 1v1 fight you take, it is the fight that works in your favor because you have better weapon, better shield, better everything than enemies. Plus, we have 2 shrouded steps and a paranoia. You know, like, with the shrouded steps, we can apply the pressure and reveal the enemies. You know, we can use a fake shrouded steps to see where are the enemies, how are they positioning, use a paranoia, then bam, bam, get out, clear this angle, clear this, we're out. And unfortunately, one thing that you need to do in these type of situations, you need to trust this Phoenix and Raze to play in an optimal way. But still, you know, even if they fuck up, if we connect our aggressions and our, you know, like our fights here and here at the same moment of time, if you win your fights, you know, you might catch the enemies off guard and, you know, you can instantly kill those guys, help the Phoenix out, get him out of this position and start going for a retake. Okay, that's one way to get a kill. But listen, like, this moment that you dropped here, if it was a full buy round, or a round like where you are in some kind of a disadvantage, it would be okay. But the problem in this round is, like, you know, you are actually, you know, still have an economy advantage. Enemies still have shit weapons. They literally have pistols right now. Like, you want to see the enemies, and you want to fight the enemies in medium range and long range fights as much as you can. So, you know, in these type of situations, like, you never want to drop some close smokes where the enemies can easily fuck you up and you know, like, get in a smoke, outmaneuver you, or close the gap with you. If you already wanted to, you know, like, play this round a bit safer and isolate the enemies into 1v1 fights, one thing that you could have done here is drop a smoke instead of this wall, teleport into the smoke, and now, bam, I can focus on killing this guy first, then killing this guy, then killing this guy, and then focusing on the guy in the B main area of the map. Like, what's very important, you know, with Omen is that you learn how to improvise and learn how to isolate the fights and gather information with your utility. Like, you should not only be strictly focused on the good default utility, but also, you know, ask yourself, like, you know, I'm in this very tight choke point. I need to go out with my Phoenix. There's 3 enemies that can be here, 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 and here. Well, how can I get the info on all of these angles and isolate 1v1 fights? On the B side, the only way to do that is with a smoke like this, teleport like this, and then, you know, from this position I can use paranoia to engage the enemies however I want, wherever I want, and to completely fuck them up with a Spectre. And also, whenever you drop this type of a smoke, you know, like, you with this smoke you cannot scale from the left side, because this smoke pretty much gives enemies a one-way here. Like, this smoke you use to clear this angle, and usually what you want to do, you want to get here, and then from this box, clear the CT, drop down, and then focus on clearing everything else. But the main like 3 mistakes we made in this round is, number 1, aggressing the C-long area of the map in this round was absolutely unnecessary. Like, there is no reason to take space or to aggress the enemies in main areas of the map and waste your utility when they're playing an eco halberd round. Number 2 mistake, playing on the C site. You should have played this round on B site, defending the B link and B main area of the map. And number 3 mistake was leaving the waterfall area of the map open in a 3v5. In a 3v5 situations, like, 2 players play together, 1 player plays alone, and you should not be afraid to fight alone if you already have an economy advantage and a better weapon than the enemies. Now, since we lost this round, and since we noticed in the first 2 rounds that the enemies are more focused on the A main control and A site rather than C site, in this round, the best gamble is to prepare some kind of a passive setup on the A site. Like, basically, Once again, you can play with a classic and shorty. You can maybe like get a bandit, and with a bandit try getting some of these 0 to 10 meter kills around the tree, Amen area of the map, and on the A side. But this round is definitely not the round where we play on the C side based on the previous rounds and executes. Also, what did you buy here? Just a light shield? Listen, like, this buy option doesn't exist in Valorant. Just remember that. In eco rounds, you never buy a classic with a light shield and utility. Literally the most wasted 400 credits that you can have in Valorant. This light shield will not give you any higher chances of killing the enemies in this round and winning this round. But what's going to give you higher chances? Getting a bandit, getting a shorty, getting a sheriff, getting some one-tap weapon with which maybe you can delete the enemies and kill them, like in some kind of a cheesy way or from some off angles or something like that. Classic and light shield will do nothing. Fuck all. Just waste of money. Now, buying a shorty here, I don't know how much money we're gonna have in the next round. Like, that's a problem. Like, because you also bought the light shield, and in the next round you might not have enough money to buy a heavy shield with a Vandal and utility. Also, listen, no matter, like, the main thing you should be observing as an Omen player on a defender side is how your teammates are starting every single round. Like, no matter, like, what you want to do, where you want to go, if you notice on the minimap that your teammates might have a tendency to take a control of something and play a bit more aggressively. I mean, right now, 2 of your teammates are starting aggressively towards this barrier. Tejo is in the A-link. Tejo and Raze are holding rockets and nade in their hands. What do you think is gonna happen? Like, already just based on their body posture and utility they want to use, you already know they want to fight for the aim and control. So even if you want to play on the C set right now, you need to prepare a smoke for them. In this case scenario, the best smoke you can give for them is some kind of a smoke like this, or a one-way up here, because we're playing an eco round, halberd round, and God help them take the aim and control in this round without the flashes and paranoia. But because we have Tejo with the Tejo with the rockets, and Raze with a nade, just drop a smoke there, and then maybe they're gonna stay alive, and maybe they're gonna be able to take the full aim and control. Very good that you're getting early info in the main areas of the map. A lot of the Immortal, Ascendant, and Diamond players as well, like, struggle with this problem. Very good that you're jump spotting that for the info. Whenever you're rotating in these eco rounds, you can stay with a shorty, but it's a bit better if you trade the shorty for a classic pistol, you know, that you left on the ground, because like I mean, only God knows if you'll be able to close the gap and close the distance with the enemies when you're going for the retake. Okay, here, like, when you hear the enemies opening the doors, like, you should instantly try to get at the backside and try to get in a position where you can just delete the enemies with a shorty and kill them. Yeah. This is a mistake from you. You know, like, where you want to go and how you want to play really depends on the weapon that you have at that moment of time. Like, where you can get an easiest kill. Like, here, you going through the aim and area of the map. Like, you will be going through an area where there's a lot of long range, a lot of the medium range fights. It's really hard to use your utility to close the gap with the enemies. But if you go from the tower, like what we can do with Omen is, like, you know, even if the enemies took a sight, let's say enemies have a drop and enemies have a, you know, the ropes, down ropes there, like, we can use a mid-air smoke like this, wait for the smoke to deploy, then drop down together with the smoke, and then pop onto the enemies, try to fuck them up. Maybe use a fake shrouded steps to reveal the enemies and run them down with a paranoia. Like, you can do various different things. Like, We can, if there's enemy smoke here still, we can also get in a smoke, then drop some kind of a smoke like this, for an example. Then we can use a fake TP to reveal the enemies. If you don't see any enemies, we can silently drop down. Then an enemy is gonna be in the smoke 100%, clearing the smoke. You can kill the drop guy, like, you just have more options to close the gap with the enemies. Also, remember that circle crosshair is much better than a dot crosshair on the shotguns. I'll give you one video that is explaining why is this better, but it's just easier to understand when you're fighting the enemies, like how much of the bullets is actually gonna go into the enemy's head, neck, and body as well. Especially when you're holding the angles, like you know, a lot of the players suffer from understanding exactly where their crosshair should be. Like, you know, I see a lot of the players, like with the shotguns, they hold the angle like this, but rather like you're not gonna kill anyone with that type of a crosshair placement. Hello, Extraman. What rank is this? Diamond 1, 2, 3, Ascendant 1, like that type of a lobby. This, though, from your side was really good, but the main problem of this play was actually, you know, this cross here. Like, you know, what if an enemy was in the Omen area of the map? How the fuck we get out of here?
Yeah, I fuck up.
That's basically the problem of this play. And that's the gamble that you made. Thankfully, the gamble was okay. You know, it actually worked in your favor now. And also, you may... Listen. So, if you want to fuck up the enemies with a close-range weapon on the A site, when you're playing the A retake, a very good smoke setup that you can do to close the gap with the enemies is a trial and smoke setup here. Dropping a smoke like that. Because then, you can freely teleport towards this box, be able to kill the enemies here, kill this guy. Someone is gonna be in the smoke 100%. Players really like to camp the smoke, especially in a, you know, in a 2v4. There's no way that one enemy is not gonna get into the smoke and be a bit curious, especially once you teleport, you know, instead of this corner. We can maybe kill this guy, then we can maybe get into the tree, kill the enemies in the tree. From the smoke, we can use a fake shrouded step to reveal the enemies and bamboozle them. You have a lot of options. The smoke that you dropped, you know, not really the most efficient way of using utility. And a real danger of this smoke is that an enemy could have already been in that smoke. You know, there's 4 enemies alive. You have absolutely no idea how the enemies are positioned right now on the bomb site. Like, I don't know if, you know, if enemies are in the tree, if 2 enemies are here, if 3 enemies are at the back side. Like, I don't know what enemies are doing exactly. I mean, like, we know for a fact that, you know, there needs to be one guy here, there needs to be one guy in the tree at least, but I have no idea where the 2 enemies are going to play. Are they going to be in the A main? Are they going to be at the back side? What are they going to do? And when you deploy this smoke here, you know, there was a lot of gap in between like your smoke and your teleport. A very big time gap. Like, by this time, an enemy could have already walked into the smoke, killing you, and that's it. That's why this setup was much better, because you're already indicating to enemies that you might teleport inside of this smoke. And when you do this teleport, enemies might think, aha, okay, he teleported somewhere here. You know, maybe he's in the smoke, they're gonna clear the smoke. And they're gonna be more focused on that. And this guy, you know, doesn't, like, especially in this type of a post plant, like 2v4, against enemies with the close range weapons, I really don't think that anyone is gonna play this position. Even if an enemy was playing a spot like this, he would usually play it like this. He's not gonna play an angle like this, because, you know, he is overexposed too much from the main and from the tower and everything. You TP here. If an enemy is here, you can kill that guy. Bunny hop into the smoke, kill this guy. You create a path for yourself. And also another thing you want to do with your smokes, whenever you're playing some kind of a disadvantageous scenario, you want to try to create the trillion smokes so you can fuck up enemies in multiple segments and make cover for multiple segments. So, you know, one perk of this smoke is that you separate enemies in 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. And now, when I fight, you know, enemies here, enemies from behind don't see me, you know, like, and when I fight enemies here, enemies from the drop don't see me on the backside. And it's easier to outmaneuver the enemies. Good kill though there. That's nice. Okay, that's a bit unfortunate that gun flew to...
Yeah, it's not in the smoke. That was really bad.
Jesus Christ. Okay, now. So, what we noticed from the previous 3 rounds is that enemies love the AB pattern. You know, like every round enemies are doing something different compared to what they did in the previous round. In the first round they did a A push, second round the B push, third round the A push. So in the fourth round, chances are above 80% that enemies are gonna go either C or B. Personally, I would have started this round on the B side, because even from the B main area of the map, I can easily support my teammates on C and rotate fast on C to help my chamber out. But, you know, you starting on the C side in this round is not that big of a deal. You know, it's not like you're making some kind of a mistake. Okay. 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 Very good. Flash distraction. Good paranoia here. Good reaction. Very nice, very good. I've noticed, like, you know, during the practice bots as well, that you're crouching quite a lot and trying to crouch tap an enormous amount of time. But the problem is, like, whenever you're trying to aim with your movement, I feel that you're rushing your shots way too much. You know, like, when you just need to hit some static shots, like, I don't know, you're standing still, holding an angle or holding the enemies to peek you, you're like 40% more precise than when you need to do something like this, for an example. Because you're not even trying to micro-correct, micro-adjust whatsoever, you just flick instinctively, bullets fly wherever the fuck wherever the fuck you want, and we need to work on this problem. Like, you really need to slow down a bit, like, instead of just aiming based on your feeling or whatever, like, based on nothing. Here, once again, like, a bit of a mistake from your side. Like, so, first of all, when you got this kill right here, like, do we need to continue fighting the enemies?
No.
Absolutely no.
No.
What is the easiest way right now to keep this numbers advantage and to keep control of this area on the map?
Cool. You're asking me? Oh.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
No, go. Well, if I have to do it again, I go back C and try to wait the enemies on.
But
Get some information.
What if the chamber doesn't want to go back?
To be honest, I don't know. But well, in my case, I would rather to go back C and try to get some information from my other teammates.
You know, like, in an example like this, where we literally pressure the enemies from both sides, like we have the full C-long control and aiming control, you don't need to give the space, but you really need to focus a bit more on, you know, your utility, essentially. Like here, brother, this smoke expires. Just redeploy a second one-way smoke, keep the enemies stuck here, while your teammates are literally pinching the enemies from the aim-in right now. Like, we're gonna make the enemies stuck for another 16 seconds. By that time, 3 of our teammates can already pinch the enemies from behind. We can make the sandwich out of them in the spawn and win this round, if they wanna do that, of course. Now, if you wanted here to continue fighting with your chamber, without the one-way smoke, and without preventing the enemies to pass this area of the map, bait your teammate a bit. For 2 reasons right now. Reason number 1 is all of the reasons that I mentioned in the round number 1. But the reason number 2 is that Chamber is playing on an off angle like this, where he doesn't see shit. Like, he cannot refrag you if enemies are killing you from this angle. And in a situation like this, a player that essentially cannot refrag a second player, cannot be the second contact. Like here, you need to just relax, now wait for the chamber to kill someone or to engage in a fight, plus the guy has a teleport so he can easily reset. Once the chamber gets in a fight, we swing out and we take a kill. Once you take a kill, you have an escape route to TP away, we make a 5v3, that's it. Like, I feel that, you know, whenever you make a good play and you kill someone, like this, for an example, like, you continue forcing these solo fights for no reason whatsoever. A solo fights that are completely 50-50, and you keep over-peaking the angles. From now on, like, when you take a kill, if you have a cover behind which you can hide and reset a bit, give yourself time to think. And what you should think about is, like, how you want to engage the enemies moving forward. Do I have a teammate beside myself? If the answer is yes, okay, let's fight with that teammate. If the answer is no, like, ask yourself, in this area of the map, how can I take some kind of, you know, like, how can I keep this control moving forward? Do I have a utility to do it? I have a smoke. Okay, I can deploy another one-way smoke and still keep the control of the ceiling area of the map for the next 16 seconds. Then, like, ask yourself, do you have some kind of an angle that you can abuse to create a favorable fight? You know, right now, you saw that no one is here. Okay, you can maybe TP up here, and from this position, try to get another kill. Enemies don't know where you teleported. You could have teleported inside of the smoke, inside of this corner. You could have went back. They don't know. Like, we can play this angle as an off angle with a drop down. We go for 1 bullet, 2 bullets, and then get out, and that's it. But forcing another 50-50 fight on a position where the enemies already know that you play there, for a position for which enemies are ready, is something that you should never do in Valorant. And the worst mistake you can make in Valorant is, like, re-peeking the same angle in the same way where the enemy saw you, like, a few seconds ago or in the previous fight. Here, if you already want to engage the enemies, you know, like, be ready to swing out on the chambers counter from the left. Get on top of this position, reposition a bit, play some double tower setup with a chamber, maybe, for an example. All of this would have been better rather than forcing another 50-50 fight from the same position from which you previously fought. And if you want, and the best way for you to support this chamber in a fight with a Sage was just to swing left without overexposing yourself to the enemies on the left side. You had a whole mound for yourself. Okay. Do you think just keep playing the game response is good enough when asking for tips to improve? No. Just playing the game is not gonna work for 90% of the players in Valorant. Minimum 90%. Like, it's not enough, man. Like you need to start analyzing your problems. You need to start, like, taking a look at your gameplay from the third person perspective. You need to start asking yourself actually what type of mistakes you have, what type of problems you have, and how to counter these problems with proper set of solutions. You know, like, just playing the game is literally a waste of your time. You know, because why would you play, like, 3,000 hours of Valorant to reach Radiant when you can maybe, like, reach Radiant in just 500 hours with a smarter approach? I mean, that's how you should think about everything in life, you know? Like, you should always search for some, you know, shortcuts to be efficient and to improve a bit faster. Like, do you really want to waste 3,000 hours of your life to be master at something when you can maybe become a master at, like, 500 hours, for an example? If you take a bit more efficient time management and approach to getting better. This right here is a bit interesting when it comes to the economy management. Listen, like, as we talked at the beginning of this VOD review, like, you know, in the first 4 rounds on a defender side, you should already try to notice some of the common patterns that enemies are using in the first 4 rounds. And if you see that enemies have more tendencies to focus onto the A site, and generally, you know, like, this area of the map that's what you do in the next few rounds as well. Especially if you notice that your teammates are dying, fighting for this space on Lotus. You need to fight for this space as well, especially because you're playing Omen. And you know, you have a Paranoia, you have Shrouded Steps, you have Smokes, you have everything to support your teammates and to do whatever the hell you wanna do, basically. So yeah, like this round, you know, you should have played on the A side then, and especially when you have the ultimate with Omen, you can make bigger gambles. Fuck it, you know, you have nothing to lose. Like you can rotate with the ultimate, and that's it. The entire Radiant Immortal NA population would be around the same population as APEC Immortal 3 LMAO. Yeah, like Valorant in NA is really dead. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not really the greatest experience ever. Like the problem when the game is dead in some kind of a region, and when the population is so low, is that the quality of the matches are instantly worse, and also the players are much worse. Like and that's the problem. Right now, like only APEC and EU are like somewhat alive. Thankfully, our friend is from Peru, and he's playing on even worse server. So yeah, let's go. In this round, I don't know really what you bought, but I guess we're playing a full buy. Okay. That smoke should have been a bit faster. I mean, you already saw that your teammates are fighting once again. Now listen, like, you know, if your teammates want to fight for the aim and control, you should always fight with them, unless you're like 90% certain that enemies are going to see that round, based on some, I don't know, ultimate status, orbs, or the previous patterns that enemies used. Like, you really need to be ready to support them. And also, we have a really decent team composition to fight for the aim and control. We have the Tejo Rockets, Your Paranoia, Raze, Phoenix. I mean, like, we literally have everything to take the space there. And as I said, like, feel free to make bigger gambles when you have the Omen ultimate. Like, even if you think that enemies are gonna go C in this round, but your teammates want to take the aim and space against the Chamber ultimate, fuck it. Take the aim in with them, and if enemies are going C, you can just instantly teleport towards the C side, support the Chamber, and everyone is happy. And the gamble is good. You bought a Spectre. Listen, you never buy Spectre, ever, in the middle of the match. Like, Spectre is literally a dogshit weapon to buy in the middle of the game. And you only buy Spectre in the second anti-eco round, when you win the first round. And that's the only time where Spectre is, like, decent buy option in terms of how much money you're investing for that specific weapon. You know, for these 1600 credits, in these forced buy rounds, I don't know, like, you probably had money to get up maybe Vandal with a light shield, maybe Bulldog with a heavy shield, I don't know, and sacrifice some utility, you know, like maybe don't buy a Paranoia, don't buy a Shrouded Steps, get a Bulldog with a heavy, for an example. Stinger with a heavy shield is better option in these full buy rounds than a Spectre, because, you know, what you get for 500 credits less is still a bit better buy option. Okay, I guess that smoke is fine. We know that one guy is up top. Here, you know, it would be totally fine if you play a bit more aggressively, because whenever you're in a huge numbers disadvantage, and also economy disadvantage, choose, you know, take any opportunity that game is giving you to trade yourself for a few kills and to maybe get a few frags left and right. It's totally fine if you risk it a bit more. It's not really that big of a deal. This play was okay, just the problem is, like, you know, how you engage the enemies here. Not gonna lie. Like, so, we have two problems with this fight. First problem is, like, usually what you wanna do is, when the enemies open the doors, you don't wanna immediately drop a Paranoia. You wanna wait for the doors to be, like, close to the middle, and then you're dropping Paranoia to engage the enemies. So you're practically trying to catch the enemies as they're going through the doors. You know, like, you don't want enemies to sit down, because, you know, the proper way to fight around the doors is open the doors, then clear this, and then move in. So just delay this Paranoia for, I don't know, 1.5 seconds, and then go. And the second problem is, like, you literally engage this clove, and the enemies here diagonally. You know, like, instead of picking this clove like this, what you did is, like, you went diagonally. So basically what happened is, like, you didn't abuse the full momentum of your speed and acceleration in Valorant, which doesn't exist, but, you know, like, you didn't reach the maximum peaker's advantage, let's call it like that, just for the sake of being a bit more simple. And generally speaking in Valorant, yeah, like, you never want to engage the enemies diagonally, like, you know, going with the W and D and then stopping and then taking the shots. Like, if enemies are already opening these doors, you drop a paranoia like this. This is how you peek this angle, and this is how you fight, essentially. But, yeah, like, those are the only two things that we could have done better in this specific example. I mean, you still killed the clove, you know, that was not an issue. The issue was this chamber above you, but just don't do this shit anymore. Like, it's always better in Valorant if you're slow and precise with the things that you do, rather than fast and you're just sloppy with everything that you do. Like, you're always trying to engage the enemies properly with the proper movement, proper crosshair placement, proper utility usage. Timings don't matter as you're trying to become a better player. Because if you're constantly feeding into your bad habits, you will never become a better player, and you're just gambling quite a lot. Okay. In the next round, we should definitely play on the C site. Now, why do we play on the C site in the next round is because of the Raze ultimate. Like, in this match, we can kind of read the enemies based on their ultimate status, and that is the Geckos and Raze ultimate. 90% of times in ranked solo queue, when the players have these two ultimates, or they're missing one ultimate orb for the Raze and Gecko ultimate, they will probably go C. And you need to make that gamble, especially when you're playing Omen and you already have the ultimate, and you can just rotate like, you know, fast if you miss gamble. So this round we should be playing on the C site, and we should be preparing some kind of a C setup. Now, we can play classic shorty. We can also get a bandit maybe, and with a bandit try to fuck up the enemies. You know, both options are fine. But yeah, like, the best gamble was, it was totally fine in this round that you played on the C set, especially because it's an eco round for you, so it literally doesn't matter that much if you're right or wrong. Here, like, you should have dropped this smoke for your Phoenix. I don't know, like, during this rotation, why you didn't drop this smoke for your teammates to maybe delay the enemies a bit. Maybe Phoenix can find some insane opportunity to pop flash out, maybe stay alive a bit longer so you can actually rotate. I don't know why we didn't use a smoke here. Like, your Phoenix should have had a smoke, like, I don't know, 10 seconds ago, basically.
You're right.
Once again, like, listen, the same mistake as in one of the previous rounds. Like, you end up in a disadvantage. Like, you have economy disadvantage, numbers disadvantage, like, fuck the default utility usage, man. I get out of your comfort zone, experiment, make a chaos around which you can work and maybe get some kills. Like, this smoke in the tree won't do shit. There's nobody on the site, there's nobody in the tree. You have a shorty engaging enemies on the A site. Fuck it, you know, like, once again, what we can do here is, like, maybe with this shorty, we can get instead of this smoke, then we can do an elevator smoke here, drop down with a smoke silently, and then from this position, maybe use a fake shrouded steps to reveal the enemies. Aha, one enemy is here, let's kill this guy. Aha, one enemy is here, let's kill this guy. We also have a paranoia. We can engage the enemies more aggressively and kill them. We can also create a different setup, like, you know, maybe we can do a cubby smoke like this, for an example. Teleport in this corner, then from this corner, engage the enemies here. If one enemy is dropped, we can try running him down with a shorty, taking a kill. All of these options are better, rather than playing in a default way and hoping that, you know, you're maybe gonna close the gap with the enemies and get a kill with a shorty. Like, just when you're in the economy disadvantage, like, you should just play like a kamikaze. You know, you're full on just running it down, trying to experiment as much as you can, and don't be afraid to make the mistakes. You will make tons of mistakes, especially when you're playing Omen, but through these mistakes, you're gonna learn what is a good play, what is a bad play, what is an optimal play, you know, how can you do something better in the future, especially if you self-reflect and do some clip reviews and the VOD reviews that I'm gonna teach you how to do through some private coaching videos. So yeah, like, but playing in this default way and just hoping that enemies are gonna push you, I mean, that's a huge gamble. Okay. You see here, like, for example, if you had a smoke right now, that smoke would have been super fucking useful. You know, right now you could have dropped maybe a trillion smoke right here to separate these 3 angles, drop a paranoia, and try to run down the enemies at the backside. Now, like, there's no getting out of this position. In this scenario here, you're not playing anymore to win this round. We're just playing to get as many kills as possible, to damage the enemy's economy, and we're just playing for the exit frags. Literally nothing else. So here, like, now you can just chill, wait to see if any enemy is gonna peek you, and try to get as many kills as possible, and that's it. Listen, when you're dropping the smokes to engage the enemies, especially when you're fighting in a disadvantage, like, always think in this direction. Like, how can I drop a smoke right now to separate the enemies into some individual fights and to just cut the angles in a way where I cannot get in a crossfire? You know, for example, if I'm fighting, if I need to engage enemies alone on C, or I'm defending the C set alone, like, the most optimal shit I can do on the site is drop this smoke, and now around this smoke I can maybe, you know, isolate some 1v1 fights that actually work in my favor and that are like 50-50 fights and not some kind of a crossfire setup. On A site, like, on these 3 positions, here, here, and here, you cut, you know, 3 angles, and you can fight in 3 different positions through which enemies, you know, through which you can actually isolate 1 versus 1 fights and fight the enemies properly to some degree. Then, like, let's say you're playing, I don't know, on Haven, you know, like, obviously this smoke is the best smoke you can give yourself to fight the enemies in multiple different directions. But this smoke here, like, doesn't achieve that purpose because you're not blocking the enemy's vision on the left side. And if an enemy was holding you there, and one enemy could have easily been there, you would have been dead right now. Good kill, though. Crazy. Okay. Crazy hamburger, bro.
Yeah.
This round, once again, it's fine playing on the C, only because once again you have the ultimate. Number 2 reason is, like, your teammates are not fighting for the aiming control in this round. And number 3 reason is, like, Raze still has the ultimate from the previous round. So the chances are still around 80% that enemies are gonna go onto the C site. And yeah, I mean, listen, especially when enemies have, like, some big-ass ultimates. Gecko ultimate, Fade ultimate, Breach ultimate, Raze ultimate, that type of stuff. Killjoy ultimate. If you have a teammate with which you can fight for the main control, do it, you know, but don't overcommit too much. Like, the whole point of right now you doing a one-way smoke here is to burn out through the most of the enemy's utility. You know, you want to force the enemies to use a Gecko Flash, Gecko Molotov, maybe raise ultimate already in the C-long area of the map. And as soon as the things get rough, or like you think you cannot fight anymore, and it's too dangerous to fight, I mean, like, your chamber has a teleport, and also you have a TP, you can just, you know, okay, we fought here, Raze is using the ultimate, dip out, see ya later, alligator, and just, you know, reset yourself. Here, it would be totally fine if you supported this chamber with a one-way smoke, took a whole C-long area of the map, and, yeah, that's it. Interesting play, I'm not gonna lie. So listen.
What?
In this round... What?
I didn't hear that. What did you just say?
I said interesting play.
Okay. Continue.
Listen, when you're positioning and repositioning with Omen, you always want to get some kind of an off angles with your teleport, And before you give up the sight to the enemies, like you really want to try, you know, at least getting one kill before, you know, fully resetting yourself. Like here, even though the Raze has the ultimate and she's running you down, like, you know, we can still get onto this angle. And if the Raze shoots you with a rocket, you can instantly reset down, dodge the rocket, and then continue fighting, and then escape onto this position, use this as a secondary angle, etc, etc. But the main problem in this round was, like, you could have fought for that C-long area. You know, you have a chamber with a TP, we can drop a one-way smoke, maybe make the enemies waste more utility, and then try fucking them up onto the bomb site. And also remember one thing, like, whenever only one of your teammates is on the site, defending the C site, enemies are playing a full buy round, or you are alone on the site, this smoke is shit. Just don't do it. Like, most of the times, enemies are just gonna go through it, run you down on the site. Like, C site is the easiest site to be taken on Lotus, on the attacker side. So a much better idea is dropping this smoke, around which you can easily outmaneuver the enemies, fuck them up, play around, maybe drop down here, wait for the timing, swing out, get a few kills, TP around, etc, etc. Like this default smoke, after the chamber teleported, and you're left alone on the site, means nothing, especially against the Raze with a ultimate. Also, this paranoia was horrendous, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, the play that you tried to do here, and that you did in this round, is like, okay, but you really don't need to risk it that much if you can just play a 5v5 retake. You know? Like, if this was some kind of an eco round, halberd round, then okay, like, do whatever you want to do. Like, if you think you can hit this timing, sure, fine. But in a full buy round, like, this is too much of a risk. You know?
Yeah.
And also, like,
Yeah.
there is not enough mental, physical, and audio pressure on the enemies for this play to work. You know, when you want to do this play with the Omen, like, there needs to be a lot of noise. Like, but a lot of noise. Like, your teammates need to be applying the pressure onto the enemies, maybe opening the doors in the B main area of the map. Like, something needs to be happening. Right now, literally nothing is happening. I mean, the smoke is going down. The only audio that is distracting the enemies a bit is this nade. It was a bit of a miracle that you even killed this Sage. But you can see how fast, you know, the Raze actually reacted. And, you know, she was like, where the fuck is this Omen teleporting? Okay. As I said, like, earlier in this VOD review, like on Lotus, you can play passively if you can defend the bomb sites, if you can play the proper retakes, and if enemies, you know, have shit executes in the early rounds. But when this starts happening to you, like basically enemies are stomping you on the bomb sites, you just can't find a solution how to fight the enemies around the choke points and on the sites. It's time to just fight for more space, and time to take more space from the enemies. So from this round moving forward, we should be fighting for the aim and control almost every single round.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Listen, how you can fuck up the enemies in the tree with the close range weapons, like you have like three options basically, and you can mix these three options based on, you know, what you think is gonna be the most unexpected for the enemies. Option number one is doing a cubby position smoke here, like this, playing around this corner, and then from this position, swinging out, trying to fuck up the enemies. Option number two is playing around this smoke as the doors are getting opened, and basically just trying to fuck up the enemies as they're going literally through the smoke and dodging the enemy's utility around the smoke. And the option number three is like just doing a default smoke, enemies are opening the doors, you're trying to hit a paranoia when the doors are in the middle, you teleport on top of the doors, and then from top of the doors, we're trying to kill the enemies as they're moving into the choke point. Like, the problem with this play is, like, you know, you really need to hit that timing. Like, first of all, you cannot have this smoke. You know, like, essentially, you don't see the enemies yourself, like, when they're going out. Second problem is, like, you don't want to do it this fast. Like, you really need to wait for the doors to be in the middle, so the enemies have an opportunity to start going out, and then you go for a paranoia and TP. And the third problem is, like, you know, like, when you drop this smoke here, doors are in the middle. Like, I'm trying to catch the enemies as they're already going out. Like, I already want to have at least, you know, one enemy here, so I can kill that guy, and then focus on the rest of the enemy team.
Okay.
But the easiest way to fuck up these imbeciles in these lobbies is, like, dropping this Kabi smoke here, around which you can play here, and just on timing popping out to the enemies and killing them. Like, players are completely disrespecting these gaps in the smokes. And it's the easiest way for you to dodge the enemy's random spam, enemy's utility, etc, etc. Now you know what to do. I already explained a few rounds ago what we should be doing in this round.
For the Gecko ultimate, right?
Yeah, like, it's totally fine that you're playing C. Totally fine. But now, you know, that enemies are going A. It's okay. Gamble was fine because we have the ultimate, but we need to instantly teleport. Like, right now, as soon as the chamber gets the info, insta TP towards the A site and help your teammates out. And insta rotation as well. Like, also one more thing. Like, what you want to notice in the first 4 rounds, when you're playing on a defender side, is one question that you really need to ask yourself. Is how are enemies playing on a macro and micro level? Like, do enemies like to lurk, flank, fake, push together as 5? How do they respond when we stop them, when we, like, when they fuck us up in the choke points, etc, etc? Like, but this is the most common thing that's gonna happen in your ranked games. So, in this match, enemies don't have a single person that is flanking and lurking. Enemies are just straight up committing to their executes, playing together as 5. In these matches, there's no reason for you to waste any time, like, anchoring the sites, anchoring the positions, or doing what you're doing right now. As soon as the chamber got a kill, insta rotation, help your teammates out, especially because we have a numbers advantage. We don't give a fuck about C-set anymore. Like, we need to preserve this numbers advantage and just play with the team. Especially because Sage has the ultimate and, you know, they're probably gonna commit towards the A-set more. Right now, you're just waiting to see what's gonna happen. And usually in ranked solo queue, you don't want to wait to see what's gonna happen. Because usually what's gonna happen is your mentally disabled teammates are gonna start dying alone, forcing bad fights, and then you're gonna end up in some kind of a 1 versus 1, 2, 3 retake. Now listen, in this round, it was totally fine for you to also go for some kind of a flank and lurk as well. Like this, for an example. But it would have been totally fine if you did it instantly as your chamber got a kill in the aim and area of the map. Because we know that enemies never have anyone that is lurking, flanking in the first 8 rounds. And basically, every round in Valorant and every match, you simply play based on the information that you got from the previous rounds. Like, very, very rarely you want to play based on your feelings. Very, very, very rarely you want to gamble. Just play on the info. Play on the rules and the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you after this VOD review. It'll be totally fine. Like here, already at 131, you could have dropped down, start pushing behind the enemies, and lock in this area of the map and be ready to fuck them up from behind. But to be honest, like, considering how poorly your team has played on these early rounds, I probably would have just teleported towards the aim and area of the map and just tried to finish this round. You know, especially when it comes to the Omen ultimate, but literally any ultimate in the game, like, there are some perfect moments of times when you should be using the ultimate. But the worst thing you can do is over-saving that ultimate for some mega perfect moment of time. Like, the best moment of time to use your ultimate is the first time where you see an opportunity to fuck up the enemies, to reconnect with your teammates, to support your teammates out, to do a fast rotation, fuck it.
Yeah, I got it.
Holy shit, this TP was mega risky. We got a bit lucky. Gecko is deaf. Let's be honest, this round could have been 10 times more simple if we just instantly teleported and then supported our teammates. When it comes to this TP that you did here, I don't know, man, like, you know, very, very risky position where you teleported, not gonna lie. But you did get somewhat information that both of the enemies are on the bomb site, so I guess because of that it's fine. And this engagement on Sage was really bad, like, you know, you knew that Sage is somewhere here. You should have picked these angles a bit cleaner and just anticipate that the Sage is gonna be in this area. A bit of a lucky round, not gonna lie. As I said, like, you know, you notice that enemies have this tendency to push something 24/7. Fuck it. Don't, like, we have 7 rules to read the enemies on the defender side. Like, only 7. And we have, like, 50 other sub-rules, but you don't need to concern yourself with those right now. Rule number 1. You position, especially in the early rounds, based on the map that you're playing. Everything is covered in my playbook, period. Number 2. You position based on the economy. Your economy and enemy economy. Everything is covered in the playbook. You can easily learn that through the playbook. Number 3. You position yourself based on the ultimate status of the enemies. Once again, everything is covered in the playbook, but usually when the players have like some of these AoE ultimates, they have tendencies to push something more rather than other areas of the map. Like on Lotus, it's usually a good gamble to play on the C site during those rounds. Rule number 4, you position based on the AB rule. As soon as you notice that in one round, enemies go A, then B, then C, like every round they're changing their pattern, and every round they're doing something different compared to the previous rounds, just adapt. You know, like, basically, you position in the opposite way compared to the previous rounds, and that's it. Rule number 5, rule of fear. Whenever you fuck up the enemy somewhere, like you completely stop their execute, you completely stop their push, chances in ranked solo queue that enemies are gonna have the confidence to repeat the same play is below 20%. So a much better gamble is to play the opposite part of the map, or whatever enemies didn't do in the previous round. Rule number 6 is the rule of 3 executes. Essentially, when you notice that enemies did the same execute or the same play 3 rounds in a row, in the round number 3, expect the opposite. But you will play around 20% of matches where like none of these rules are gonna work. Enemies are just gonna have some very usual tendencies to do something, such as in this game, just fighting for Omen and just going A straight up in most of the rounds. In these type of matches, fuck it. As long as the enemies wanna go A, as long as the enemies are hitting the A site, just play A site, fight for the aim and control, help your teammates on A site, and that's it. When you notice that they change their pattern a bit, then we can start reading the enemies based on something else. So in this match, you know, we already lost so many rounds on the A site. Enemies pretty much only know about aim and area of the map. Like they won't see what, like 1 time? 1.5, like if you count, I don't know, that eco round, whatever. So let's position properly. Yep, this is not gonna go well. Yeah, and also, like, you know, I mentioned at the start of this VOD review, Lotus is a slow rotation map, but if you notice that enemies are just playing together as 5, they're never lurking, never flanking, never doing any fakes or something like that. Fuck it. Knife in the hands, instant rotations on the first contact between your team and the enemy team, or in one of the rounds, especially if you're playing some kind of an eco or halby, what you can try doing is some kind of fast flank or fast lurk. You know, here for example, we can maybe try with our chamber doing a double flank and double push behind the enemies, which is a great strategy in ranked solo queue, because what players usually don't expect in ranked solo queue is like 2 players flanking from behind. One guy can play first, the other guy baits the first guy, and 80% of times in ranked solo queue, players are completely ignorant when it comes to the second guy potentially lurking and flanking. And also here, I really don't understand why are you rotating through the site when you can just open the doors and go through the beam in. Like, you're just wasting your time right now. You're gonna waste like 7 or 8 seconds for nothing. You have a chamber holding the beam in. Open the doors and rotate. And listen, just play on the information that you have, man. Like that is like the #1 rule that you wanna follow in Valorant, in between Iron 1 and Diamond 3. This VOD is like, you know, he's currently Diamond 1, Diamond 3, so he's playing in that elo right now. Literally, players' playbooks are very shallow. Players' playstyle is very shallow, especially if they repeated something so many times already during a match. There's nothing to make you believe right now that enemies are gonna go B or C or reset the round or go back, you know. And it's not like we have some kind of an amazing setup defending the A set. We're fighting without a tree. There's nobody in the stairs as well. We have no alien control. Like, we're basically, your teammates on A set are fighting blindly and in a really bad positions. You just need to be a bit more reactive on a defender side and just play on the info that is being fed to you initially, instead of trying to be too smart. Like, these players are not smart, man. Like, these players are not smart whatsoever. Like they just, you know, run it down. Okay, I guess our race can shoot. Nice, great. I mean, great by your teammates. Now, once again, you know, like, this is a double-edged sword type of round. You know, like, personally, I would have also played on C site. So, because of that Raze ultimate. You know, like, I personally value the ultimate status of the players over the tendencies. So the rule number 3 for me is above the rule number 2. Like, sorry, the rule number 7 that I mentioned, like the tendencies. So if enemies have the Raze ultimate or the Gecko ultimate on this map, I would probably just gamble on the C site, or maybe I would start in the B main area of the map, so that I'm ready to rotate left and right. And I'm also able to support my teammates on both C site and A site as well. That's also something that you can do in these type of matches, especially when you don't know how to read the enemies. You can't read the enemies on a defender side, especially of the maps such as Haven and Lotus. Just start on B. Fuck it. Start on the B site and you're ready to support your teammates on both A and C no matter what. This play here, you know, it's okay. Like, I really have nothing against it, especially in this match where the enemies only have a Gecko as the only agent with flash abilities and some recon ability. Just, you know, you can do it once and that's it. Like, doing it more than one time is just whatever. And always try to play this position as a drop-down angle. Like, every single elevated position that you play with the drop-down method. So essentially, you play on the edge of it, complete edge, like this. You only stay for one bullet or one burst fire. You kill one guy, bam, you're out. So the mechanic that you want to develop is that after a shot or after a burst fire, you should instantly be picking up the knife in your hands and just doing this. You don't want to be stuck behind the box. You don't want to overcommit to the fight against 5 enemies. These angles we abuse to potentially get 1 kill and 1 safe fight. And that's it. You should never die when holding an angle such as this one.
Okay.
Okay, we still have a problem here where, you know, the Raze has the ultimate. Okay, hello, Mr. Clove. It's okay. You know, it's totally fine that you're not rotating here. Like, you really don't have any info. In the previous rounds, enemies just played together as 5 and pushed together as 5. Your teammates killed the chamber that lurked and flanked in this round. What you're doing right now is totally fine. Just, right now, you know, when you end up in a 5v3, feel free to position a bit safer. When you have a huge numbers advantage, especially when the enemies have some of these big ultimates, it's okay. Now you don't need to fight for anything. All you need, the only thing you're fighting for right now is information. Right now you can play an angle like this. If the Raze uses the ultimate, you can just dip out, give all of this space to the enemies, and we play a 5v3 retake like normal human beings. I just don't know, like, why did you decide to run into the Raze? Can you tell me that? Also, I don't know, why did you use a paranoia here as well? I mean, okay, I guess, like, it's fine to support your teammates, but don't your teammates actually have the vision right here, and they didn't see anyone? You need to tell me, like, why did you use paranoia in this example on the right side?
It was for the spike, I guess, because I just heard that they was planting. Maybe it was the weak man. I think that was for
Okay. So this decision is a problem of your map awareness. Like, there's no way that you didn't check a minimap here. I mean, if you check the minimap, you would have seen that Tejo literally has a line of sight here, that no one is on the right side, and that this paranoia that you did was an absolute waste. And also remember, when your teammates are playing together, and you're playing alone somewhere, your teammates are always the ones that are playmakers, or the players that need to play first. Like, when you're playing alone here, you can't die first. Because if you die, enemies open up 2 additional positions through which they can lurk, flank, take space, fuck up your teammates. You have 3 teammates in the A-link. Wait for those teammates to get some harder contact. Wait for those teammates to do something. Start going out, for an example. In these type of situations, you should always be the guy that is playing secondary and that is waiting for your teammates to do anything. You know, they just need to apply some pressure so you can actually make a move, paranoid the enemies, and win this round for them. That was a really close round, not gonna lie. Yeah, this round is the round where we fight for the Omen again. Like, reasons are many. Tendencies, and also the number 2 reason, like, we literally fucked up the enemies on the C set last round. Chances they go C in this round, below 10%. And also, you know, as I said, like, we have a great team comp to fight for that Omen area of the map. Like, in this specific match, you should have fought more for the Omen control. Because of the comp, and because enemies were just abusing that more than anything else. We can just drop a smoke there, drop a paranoia here, open the doors. Tejo can use the rockets, you know, bap, cover that completely. Then Tejo has the ultimate in this round as well. Like, we can just demolish the enemies in that Omen area. Judge in this round. Okay, listen. If you're buying a judge and you have excessive credits, always combine the judge with a bandit. Always. Like, you always want to have a pistol with which you can actually fight the enemies in medium range and long range fights. And also, like, so I don't know, like, I guess it's fine. I mean, if you think enemies are gonna go A here, you want to fuck them up around this smoke here with a shotgun, I guess it's okay. Like what you're trying to do right now. My guy has the outlaw in the last round. Holy shit. What a bad ultimate. Okay, I mean, like at this point, we're not even clearing the angles anymore. When it comes to this last round, like there's not that much that you could have done yourself. Like you thought enemies are gonna go A, you wanted to play a passive setup. Your team has died left and right. Really, nothing better that you could have done. But here, like, you know, when you engage the enemies, so listen, man, like you're going for a retake on the B side, especially when you're going for a retake where there's an enormous amount of enemies alive. You should expect that the enemies are in every single possible corner that exists on that site. So if you drop this smoke and this paranoia, which is not a bad setup in this round because you have a judge, you know, like what we can do with this smoke is we can pretty much engage the enemies everywhere, but the smoke should just be placed a bit lower, like this. You drop a paranoia like this, okay, let's clear this angle, let's kill this guy first, then with this smoke you can drop down here, you can maybe play around it, you can maybe focus on killing this guy, maybe you can use a fake shrouded steps to reveal the enemies and then engage the enemies. You have a lot of options. But one rule that you really want to follow in ranked solo queue on both attackers and defender side, they can definitely fuck you a lot on attack as well, is that if you didn't clear some kind of an angle with your own crosser and with your own like eyesight, you behave towards that angle like an enemy is gonna be there and like an enemy is like 100% there. Unless, of course, you have 100% information about all 5 enemies' locations. Overall, on a defender side, I feel that you're trusting your teammates too much. I feel that you can apply like, you know, just more versatility when it comes to how you play, how you take the space, and how you support your teammates. Also, in a matches like this, where enemies don't have really good initiators and good, you know, duelists, you should definitely like try abusing operator a bit more. Even if you're playing a controller, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, you know, executes of these enemies were terrible, and you could have easily got some picks with a op. And don't try to be too smart in a matches where enemies are simple and dumb. Like, there's gonna be a moment of time where you need to big brain and then you'll need to like think a lot more. But in the matches like this, where, you know, enemies develop some tendencies and you already know what they like to do more over other stuff, like just gamble on their tendencies, and that's it basically. In the first 4 rounds, try to position based on economy, map, based on ultimate status, AB rule, rule of fear, rule of 3 executes. But if enemies are not following any of these rules, they notice that your teammates are absolutely dogshit on one bomb site. Fuck it. Let's fight for that site, let's fight for that space, let's fight with those teammates. It is totally fine in ranked solo queue playing a 5v5 retake. Totally fine. Like, it's totally fine if your whole team starts here because we think enemies are gonna go A and we leave the C set open. It is better to play a 5v5 retake than every round playing some kind of a retake in a fucking disadvantage. And then you need to pull the rounds out of your ass. That's it. What if the team has passed those angles without clearing them? You should clear every single angle, even if the teammates are in front of you. And you will see that in my gameplay. I do it always, even in Radiant lobbies. Like, I have 4 teammates going through here. I'm gonna clear this position. 4 teammates going through here. I'm gonna clear this position. You don't need to be super precise, you know, if you don't have time to do that. If you need to basically like catch up with your teammates faster, but at least making sure that no one is here. That should be a habit of yours in ranked solo queue. Always. I don't know, like you're going B for an example. Like you should be clearing this spot 10 out of 10 times. Moving to the site. For an example. You're going through the tree on the A side. I have 4 teammates in a solar drone going through this area of the map. I'm gonna check this angle. It's always better to be safe rather than sorry in Valorant. and it's always better to be precise rather than fast. Like, those are like two most important rules that you need to understand when you're trying to get better at any game, to be honest, not only Valorant. Do you have any questions when it comes to defender side and what we discussed thus far? Coquito! My man, are you there, bro? Bro! Are you muted?
Tell me what?
My dude doesn't even listen, bro. My dude doesn't even listen, like...
No.
Listen.
Someone just knocked my door. Sorry.
It's okay. Do you like have any questions about what we discussed thus far? Do you want to know something more about defender side or something?
No, not really. I totally understand everything. Don't worry.
Okay, great. Yo, Papito, what's up? What happened to Valorant? Another cheater run into. This is the third cheater in half a year, and prior to this, 6 years before, I never had a Lucifer. Are you new to the stream? I'm just joking. Like, Lucifer, brother. Like, just this year, I had a minimum 50 to 60 cheaters detected. And I play like 60 hours of Valorant per act. Like, every second or third stream, like, I start with a red screen, like, that I got a rank rating refund. That's crazy, bro. Like, I know. I mean, at least they're getting banned, but it's a bit of a waste of time, you know. Well, the actual fuck, I don't know, man. Like, either Valorant laid off some of these the anti-cheat department, or the cheat developers became like much better. I just want to reset the server so that it doesn't turn off in the middle of attacker's side. Oh. How is that rank going? I got Eternus 1. Now I just did my placement matches. I played Sentinel 6 somehow. So, I don't know. I'll be grinding it. Like, I won 7 out of 8 placement matches. The lobbies are kinda easy so far, so yeah. Okay, Lotus on the attacker side. So same as on a defender side. Like, you need to have some kind of an idea how you wanna play this attack before the game even begins. So, on Lotus, first of all, your default site, number 1 priority is C, number 2 A, number 3 B. In the first 4 to 6 rounds, you wanna mainly focus yourself on 5-man executes onto the C site and A site. That should be your number 1 priority in the early rounds. Like, testing the strengths between our team and the enemy team on these 2 areas of the map. B site, we can start using later if the 5-man executes are not working, if the fakes are not working, or if you see an opportunity to fuck up the enemies and just do something different and, you know, basically push, you know, lurk through B or do some B split or B push, essentially. The best pattern of pushing on Lotus, and the best idea that I would recommend to anyone to do in any rank or any elo, is 3 rounds in a row, tell your teammates to do a 5-man execute onto the C site. In the round number 4, do a fake. Fake C, go A, fake A, go C again. C site is the easiest site in Valorant to be taken, the site that is least defended, the site that cannot be defended properly most of the time in ranked solo queue, unless you have Vice, for an example. So that should be our main point of pressure in the early rounds. Also, when it comes to the team compositions, we should have some kind of an idea what's going to happen here. We need to be ready for the Sage aggressive peaks above the walls, and you know, Sage playing on top of the wall always, and we need to destroy the wall no matter where she places it to open up that part of the map a bit, even if you want to rotate. We need to be ready for the Gecko flash. You know, Gecko is going to be probably using these pop flashes in tree, in A main, and in the C long area of the map. Chamber Trip is probably gonna be on the B site because they have 2 Sentinels. And you can expect this easily. And Raze and Clove are probably gonna play more towards the A site and B site, especially the Clove, like, because she needs to smoke both C site and A site, and the only way for Clove to do that is starting around the A link and B site. So what you can expect from this type of a team comp is we can easily expect that either Sage or Chamber are gonna play C first round, one of those guys. We can expect that these 3 guys are gonna play more towards the A site and B site in the early rounds, and that's it. So, what we should be doing here, farm and push onto the C site. Neither Sage nor Chamber can stop our execute. Usually the most default setup you will see on Lotus in the first round is 1-1-3 setup. Which is not the best, but yeah, like, you're kind of conditioned to play like this on a defender side in the first round. That's why we should be going C. Also, this buy option that you have right here doesn't exist in ranked solo queue. So in the first round with Omen, if you want to play with a classic pistol, classic, light shield, 2 smokes, 2 shrouded steps. Like, you cannot play a classic pistol without a light shield in the round number 1. That's it. And in this first round, you know, how should we push C? Just knife in the hands. You jump for this angle for the information. We go with our teammates here. Check this, check that. Jumps for this angle again. Smoke here, smoke here. Teammates are moving in. We teleport into this corner. And from this position, we're just engaging the enemies together with our allies. We should pick up the spike to condition our teammates to follow us up. And we should tell our Chamber to stop being mentally disabled person and to follow us up onto the C site. Because in the first round, you should never lurk, never flank. And this play that the Chamber is doing is way too expected, way too predictable, whatever. And the play that you should never be doing in the first round.
Okay.
Devs are in vacations. Okay. What are we doing? Okay. I'm glad we didn't teleport there. Okay, we know that Sage is on C. Good smoke. Well, that was a bit unfortunate. Did you hear this guy using a wall? I mean, you literally heard the Sage wall here.
Yeah, it's like...
Well,
I usually do that like by instinct, like teleported in the next to a box, but it was a wall. Just that.
I mean,
it was
you know, in ranked solo queue, you really cannot die like this. Like, you heard the wall, you know that Sage is playing C because of the drone. I already told you that, you know, the first thing we should expect in this match is that Sage is going to play on top of her walls, around the walls, and try to create some of these diabolical setups. I don't think you can even teleport across this wall on top of the boxes as well. It's really hard hitting that teleport, especially when you're inside of the smoke. Here, what you should have done is just break the 2 parts of the Sage wall and send it. Move in. But this teleport that you did here, like, I mean, it doesn't work. We should really not be dying like that, but thankfully our team has won the round. I mean, that's why we go C. In this round number 2, no matter what happened in the first round, hey guys, farm and push onto the C site. Just play the game, my god, what the fuck? Somebody said on TikTok. Brother, like, my job is to coach people, not to play the game. Not anymore, at least. Spectre, heavy shot. Okay, that's fine. I would just like, you know, if you would suggest to your sentinels to play with a team, at least for the first 3 to 4 rounds. Like, I just don't know, like, where do you see this playstyle? Like, where do you see this playstyle and where do you copy this shit, like, from? Because this is diabolical to do. In these Ascendant, Diamond, Low Immortal lobbies, Silver, anything that's not top 500 basically. Like, brother, you want to showcase to enemies from the first round that you like to lurk, flank, and that they should be expecting this type of plays from you. On a map such as Lotus, where most teams play with one player defending the C site.
I got it.
I'm not talking to you, I'm just talking in general, you know, like, but when it comes to you, you should try to tell your teammates, hey guys, you know, let's, you know, hey, Chamber, brother, okay, you can lurk and flank and play solo later, just for the first 2 to 3 rounds, so let's play together and let's try to do a 5-man execute, thank you very much. Here, we should still run it down, you know, like, in the last round, the enemy Sage played together alone, we're still playing with the better weapons, like, we should definitely try to kill this Sage and make a 4v4. Okay, listen, once again, we have that problem. I mean, this time he didn't die, and I can also see, you know, I can hindsight because I have, this is a replay, it's not really a VOD, but here, even though you drop this paranoia, like, you should have cleared the like, left angle, just to be safe. You know, especially when the Sage wall is there, the Sage wall can create a lot of different, you know, sub-angles and cheeky angles where enemies can hide. Like here, you just don't know if maybe one enemy was hiding and baiting the shit out of this Sage, and now he can fuck you up from behind from the boxes. Because if you don't check an angle like that, your teammates will never check it. Ever. Playing this aggressively, it was totally fine because, you know, you also had a Phoenix that played aggressively. So you should always support those type of teammates. You're not really a fan of aiming, and you have a huge problem when you need to fight multiple enemies. We need to fix that with some kind of an aim training. Like, listen. Like, the best way to play Valorant, ranked solo queue, is with a full-on paranoia. Like, basically, you should be ready to fight enemies everywhere and anywhere at any moment of time. Like, basically, you know, you're moving into the C set here. Clear the right angle. Clear the left angle. Expect enemies to be backside. Expect enemies to be around the pillar. Everywhere. Like, until the moment of time where you're like 100% certain where are all of the enemies, you are playing with a full-on paranoia. Okay, we know Clove is on site. Okay, listen. The best way to kill this guy, you know, when you're in this sequence on Lotus, just go above that enemy, man. Like, you heard the Clove reloading the gun there. Just walk, get up here, and just silently get up and kill that dude. Like, there's no reason to force any 50-50 fight or anything, like... Just walk up, get up, get up, get up. I mean, yeah, in this example, like, they don't have the shields and they're playing an eco round, but... Just get up and fuck up that guy, like... Especially in, you know, Diamond and Low Ascendant lobbies, like... Players' awareness is like 0.
Yeah, you should go with it.
Here, you should definitely go C again. You know, one of the best pattern of executes and patterns of pushing in ranked solo queue is 3 rounds in a row you do the 5-man push onto the same bomb site, and in the round number 4 you do a fake. So we condition the enemies to focus a bit more onto the C site, and to start rotating faster towards the C site, and then in the round number 4 you practically have a free round, essentially. The worst thing you can do in this 3rd round, this bonus round, is go B, for an example. Why? Because it's super, you know, expected when you're playing on a defender's side. Enemies have a low economy right now. When the players have a low economy, they usually like to go B, or do some kind of a B split or bullshit like that. So, you know, right now, if at least I was playing on a defender's side, I would be anchoring the B set and be ready for this.
I have a
Moon.
question there because I mean the enemies have vandals, phantoms, so I think we have a short distance weapon, so that's why I went C. I went B. I mean, so
Going through
what do you
the
think about that?
going through the sea long area of the map is not a problem. We have a Phoenix Flash, we have a Tejo Drone, we have a Raise Nade, Raise Satchels, we have your Paranoia, your Teleport as well. Like, this is not that long range area of the map. Like, this is not the A site, for an example. Like, and in ranked solo queue, like, you will never see CSAT being defended by more than 2 players. 3 players maximum if, you know, enemies start using their brain or they start, or you become way too predictable on the attacker's side. Here, you know, we just jump for this angle. We can also wait for the Tejo Drone. Tejo Drone reveals the enemies. You can paranoid the enemies here quite easily. Also, you can do this play, which is a great play, especially in eco rounds and halberd rounds, to apply the pressure onto the enemies and fuck them up through this smoke, especially if the enemies have a one-way. Right here, this smoke setup will allow you and your teammates to go out. You apply the pressure onto the enemies, fuck them up, you have close-range weapons, now move on to the site. Angle clearing 0 points. I need to tell you that. Try to pay more attention on how you're engaging these angles, because right now you're clearing the angles as if you know exactly where are all of the enemies. And I have absolutely no fucking idea where are the enemies. Like, you didn't check this angle properly, this angle, you just peeled those angles, while all of these common angles you need to pre-aim and pre-fire, basically. I mean, pre-aim through the wall. Like, you want to clear these positions. With a stinger, you come a bit closer, in and out. In and out, in and out, in and out, check this, and now you can peel this angle. We need to check this. And now, I don't want to check this position whatsoever. If I already came into the beam in here, I'm gonna wait for my teammates, wait for them to be ready to go out, and let's start the execute. Oh, that chamber kill could have changed the outcome of this whole round. Shit. Okay. Listen. So when you're teleporting on the C set with this setup, B set, sorry, like, you always wanna teleport, like, in this position right here, where the enemies cannot see you from the right side, they cannot see you from above, and you're practically only exposed to the enemies on the left side, but as your teammates are going out, they should be killing those enemies and applying some pressure. So always try to TP either here or here during this execute. So that, you know, the only angle from which enemies can see you should be these angles on the left side, but players, you know, in ranked solo queue, very, very rarely you will see enemies that are playing here, because it's a death sentence of an angle. Especially if the enemies are playing against a Phoenix, Sky, you know, like flash type of agents like Breach. Nobody plays here whatsoever. Listen, like, the magic trick for winning the Lotus on the attacker side is abusing the shit out of the C site. Like, players just, I don't know, like, just on a defender side are more focused. Like, they watch VCT, they watch esports, they watch Nets giving them tips of how to play Lotus, and he says that you should fight for the aim and control every single round on a defender's side. And then, what you're gonna have in ranked solo queue is players that don't use their own brain to deduct how to actually play this map and what they should be doing, and they're trusting a solo Sage or a solo Chamber trying to defend the C site, one of the hardest sites to be defended alone, which you can easily stomp. Like, here, there's absolutely no reason for us to touch the aim and area of the map whatsoever yet. Like, you know exactly how the enemies are positioning, you know exactly what enemies are doing, you know exactly that only Sage is still defending the C set alone. Let's fuck up that Sage, and let's continue going C. Also, playing the postmans on the C site is much easier than on I mean, easier than B, but on A, pulse plants are the easiest because you can theoretically say that you can take more off angles and crossfire setups. But you know, on C set your teammates cannot make that many mistakes. Like the only problem that can happen on C is like if Raze has the ultimate in this match, like we need to take more space and try to fuck up that Raze in waterfall and CT area. Also, by the way, I'm not saying that Nuts is a bad player, it's just that players in ranked solo queue don't use their brain and they soak in those esports and Radiant tips, and then what happens is like you're just, you know, you're fucking yourself up essentially. Like you cannot play in every lobby like in a Radiant lobby. Actually, you can do that. You cannot do that at all. Okay. Okay. Ooh, Jesus. Listen. This teleport play is totally fine, and you should be doing it in early rounds before you figure out how the enemies fight for the aim in space. You know, how aggressively they're fighting for this. But when you're peeking the enemies from the right side here, you never do this. Like, you always jump spot the enemies first to see if they're playing that angle here, what's happening in this area, you know, if the doors are open as well. And then you decide how you want to engage the enemies. And usually what you want to do, you want to wait for your teammates a bit, and then together with your teammates, swing those enemies and kill them. But you should never dry peek an angle like this, where enemies can theoretically kill you from 4, 5, 6 different positions, and you're not ready for a fight on any of these locations. Always get the info with a jump spot first, and then decide when you want to fight, how you want to fight, etc, etc. Okay, when you're going through the doors, like, this is what you should be doing. So, whenever you're going A, you want to prioritize going through doors over the aim area of the map. If you don't have the tree, you're fucked, essentially. So, when you're going through the doors, what you should be doing is the following. 80% of times. Open the doors, pull yourself back, jiggle in, jiggle out, clear this angle, now drop a paranoia, and now start going through the doors and clearing the doors. And always prioritize going from the left side, so that if someone is playing here with a Judge or Bucky, doesn't fuck you up. Especially if you want to use a paranoia, go like this, go through the left side immediately, and just check your back as well, so that that enemy doesn't wrap you up, for an example. In the post plans, things are very simple. How do you decide how to play post plans in ranked solo queue? If you're in some kind of a disadvantage, economy or numbers, play more aggressively. Try to take any angle or any opportunity to trade yourself for as many kills as possible. Playing passively is usually not an option. If enemies have some kind of a big-ass ultimate that we cannot counter by playing passively, play more aggro towards the enemies and try to take more space or try to fuck them up around the tower, CT, etc, etc. If your teammates want to play aggressively, you play aggro with your teammates. So right now we should be playing with a Raze, with a Phoenix, or with a Tejo. And if, you know, numbers are equal, you're in the numbers advantage, and your teammates also want to play passively, you just take the best default position that we have on that site or at that moment of time. On Lotus, usually what you want to do in a setup like this is play around this wall so that you can refrag your Raze, you can fight tower, you can also fight in the main, but also you can simply play with the Phoenix and just let that guy, you know, fight first, let that guy peek first, and you just be there for him to save his life and to refrag him no matter what. Also, when you're fighting with your teammates, you're not baiting them and letting them die first for nothing. Like, you should always be ready to swing together with your teammates in less than a half a second. You're trying to save their lives, essentially, because usually they're gonna only see blood in their eyes, and they will be doing a lot of dumb plays. Why do you do an in and out peek for clearing angles? Is that not better to peek directly on each angles without go back at each clear? it is much better to go in and out when you're clearing common angles, because in that way you can bait out enemy shots. Also, like, if multiple enemies are holding you, you're kind of fucked if you just dry swing and dry peek. But I mean, it's same method as here as well. Like, this peek is suicide. Like this. Like, guy playing on this off angle, you're dead. Enemy holding you from these two angles, you're dead. You're not ready for that fight. Chamber can be holding you for some off angle here with a teleport, you're fucked. An enemy can be literally be up on top of the box, killing you as well. Like, first you get the info, then you swing. And decide how you want to fight. This is why you always play with your most aggressive teammates. They have the highest chance of dying when you're playing in the post plants. And that's it, basically. Like, as soon as this, while the spike is being planted, you're looking at the minimap and you're just asking yourself the 3 questions that I mentioned earlier. What should I do based on economy and numbers? What are my teammates doing? And what is the best default position I can play right now? If if there is no other win condition that I can abuse. Like, in this post plan, like, you had to play with your Phoenix, or Raze, or someone, or Tejo, like any of these 3 guys. We lost all 3 of these players for nothing. Now, God help us here. And indeed, he will. This ultimate here was a huge mistake. I'm not gonna lie. Like, brother, you know exactly where is the clove, man. Like, you literally saw the clove going towards the drop. Like, 5 seconds ago. She's in the drop. You cannot use your ultimate anywhere right now on the map to outplay this clove. Because the spike is planted only for the backside, aim in, and tree. And whenever you use the ultimate here, it will be either way too late for you to come towards the spike, or the clove is gonna hear you and she's gonna know exactly where you're teleporting at that moment of time. Like here, when you already know approximately the location of this clove, just take the safest position from which you can see the spike, waste her time and try to win this 1v1. Or try to outplay her, maybe with your teleports. You know, like, what we can do here is, like, you could have easily teleported towards the main. You can see the spike planted there, and just wait to see what Clove is gonna do. Clove needs to waste the time, you know, like, clearing the angles, all of that stuff. If she's on the spike, you can maybe make some kind of an improvised one-way here to fuck her up. Take an easy kill, drop a one-way on top of her. If she smokes the spike, we can start walking in or spraying that spike and trying to kill her at the end of the day. Maybe what you can do is, like, try to teleport towards the Clove, you know? Then she's probably gonna get off of the spike, waste the time a bit, wait for the second tap. There's so many different ways how we can play this. This ultimate literally achieves nothing, because you're not really keeping your location a secret. Clove knows exactly where you're coming from. But God was indeed on our side in this round. But you really don't want to gamble on, you know, 3 enemies making 3 mistakes and playing dumb. I don't know what you're trying to do here. For a second time, this looks very dangerous, I'm not gonna lie. Like, teleport up here doesn't exist. Even if the enemies do that one-way smoke, you don't TP up in this smoke. Man, don't do this. Just don't do this, man. Like, it's okay, it's fine. If you wanna, if you already wanna teleport somewhere, TP across this position, so you know you unlock one additional angle for your teammates, from which we can engage the enemies. Or, you know, in some of the rounds, what you can do is, like, you can counter the enemy setup by dropping a smoke here, teleporting here, and then from this position, engaging the enemies together with your teammates. Because when the enemies drop this type of a setup, and multiple enemies are defending seaside, you're practically denying their one-way smoke with this smoke right here. Gott mit uns! Ja, ja. Go here, man. Like, when you're doing the executes with your teammates, and fighting with your teammates in the main areas of the map, the only thing you should pay attention on is the minimap. What your teammates want to do is what you want to do at that moment of time, especially when you're playing a controller. Here, first of all, Sage Wall is there. We need to destroy that Sage Wall no matter what we want to do in this round. You want to go A, we need to destroy the Sage Wall. We need to open up this choke point. I see that my Phoenix and Raze are moving into this smoke. Fuck it. Drop the smokes, be ready to use Paranoia, be ready to go out. If they don't go out, okay, let's reset the round and let's figure out what we should be doing next. But we should not be losing the life of our teammates by not following them up and not being ready to go out together with them. In a situation like this, you have two options. Option number one, we can cut the noise for 20 to 30 seconds, see if enemies are gonna over-rotate, see if enemies are gonna over-peek and be stupid, try to get some kills and re-hit the C site. Option number two, knife in the hands and just go away. I mean, after this chamber kill, we should definitely just go away. You should have went A here. Like, I mean, you also knew that Chamber is kind of like the anchor A player. That is the info that we got from the previous rounds. If the Chamber was in the B main opening the doors there, you know, there's maximum like one player defending A side at this moment. So the decision after that kill to go A was literally the best. Because you kind of killed the A anchor in this match. Okay. Okay. Listen, like, don't get on these default post-spam positions until you see and notice how your teammates want to play. You know, if your Phoenix want to run it down here through the waterfall, we need to play with that Phoenix. And Phoenix comes back, then you can TP up here and play this position. Usually you want to play this spot as a surprise spot. You don't really want to hold the enemies going through waterfall. You want to let your teammates get the first contact, and you're basically just chilling here and waiting, you know, for your teammates to get a contact with the enemies, because, you know, you can easily fuck up the enemies everywhere and take any fights that you want from this position. Okay. If you want to engage this guy, you know, don't engage him in the middle of the air. Like, don't do this. Like, either drop down behind the cover, reset yourself, then go for a swing. Or one way to kill that dude is also like this. If you hug this wall, and you just run right like this, you know, with a crouch and uncrouch, you can basically reset your aim immediately. You just need to run a bit diagonally. You know, like, as you're dropping from this box, you just press the W key for a brief moment of time, and then you can easily drop onto this position and take the shots.
Okay.
That's very important for you to know, because I see a lot of the players, like, your teammate is there, enemies are going through the CT, and then the players do some diabolical shits like, you know, dropping down here, or, you know, not supporting the teammates, only peeking this angle. Fuck it, you know, you can just do this. And enemies are, you know, practically dead. This round going A is a bad idea. Tell me why. Beside the fact that you're playing Lotus and enemies only have Sage on C side. But why is it a bad idea, especially this round? Hokito! Why is it bad going A in this round?
Because the same that you told me, that many of the players were playing in A side and the Sage was only alone in C.
Okay, and what more?
Well, all my teammates are going C.
What else?
Okay, I have no words to be honest. Sorry.
Chamber has the ultimate, Raze has the ultimate. Like you know that Chamber was literally the A player every single round. When Chamber has the ultimate in rank solo queue, and you're playing in the lobbies below Immortal 3, just don't. Like, I would rather push against 4 sentinels on the C side rather than trusting my teammates dealing with a Chamber with ultimate and the operator. Unless you are playing a sentinel or a duelist or something that can actually counter that motherfucker. Like, in this game, with these players, fuck it, bro. If you already know Sage is the C player, solo player, we know that Raze and Chamber are A players, like, just go C. And avoid that guy. Ooh. Now you know that you should never be swinging this angle and peeking it like that, and that's it. Okay. Also, if an idea here was maybe to do some kind of a fake, like fake A go C. How do you fake bomb sets in Valorant? First of all, how does a perfect fake looks like in ranked solo queue? Listen up, chat. So, who should always fake? You always send your initiator to fake. Why? Initiator has a lot of utility, a lot of boom boom, a lot of something flying, you know, a lot of utility to make a pressure. Controller should never be doing the fake, especially not the Omen, because you can literally give the smokes to your teammates from anywhere. So especially you as an Omen player, you should never be faking. You should just be giving your teammates this smoke so that enemies don't see how many of us are going through this area of the map. Duelist, one of the duelists, should always be faking. I would prefer that the duelist that is faking is some kind of a dive shit, like Raze for an example, because, you know, it's more believable that we're pushing, you know, onto the A side with Raze and her ultimate and everything like that. And, you know, the Sentinel and the secondary duelist should just go with the controller, and they should be sending the spike towards the opposite part of the map. These guys should take a hard contact with the enemies before we make a single move from this position into the C side. That hard contact can be anything. Like a kill, death, I don't know, your teammates somehow take space here, time to move out, and that's it. Also, I mean, if you hear the enemies rotating from C long towards the A side, you can just start moving in and that's it. And you should always be the one playing with a spike carrier, playing with this around the spike. Because what your teammates do that are not faking is far more important than what your teammates do that are faking. Fake is very simple. Brother, you just send it. You just take the fights, you take the duels, that's it. Just go. Drop all of your utility and pray for the best. But what type of a timing you pick on the opposite part of the map, mega giga important. But also in this round, doing a fake is kind of stupid. We have a Phoenix ultimate, Raze ultimate, and a Tejo ultimate. But do we really need to fake? And especially with such a 4 big ultimates, we're going A. Just send it C. The defaulting in this one was diabolical, to be honest. Like, and you know, if you wanted to do a fake, that was also a bit of diabolical, because I mean we have 3 big ass ultimates. Like, no reason to do this. I love how every single round that we won on the C side. Every single time we went C, it was pretty effortless. But no, let's default. Let's go A. Let's go B. Let's go G. You know, why would I abuse whatever the fuck worked in the first few rounds? You know. Holy shit, bro. I love it. Okay, I mean, this round not really your problem, you know, but where the fuck is our chamber trip in this round? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, what you should be doing here is like, what you should be doing here is like just playing with a race. You know, like, it is like 3v2s, like, in the postplans, you always play with a teammate that has the highest chance of dying, and that's it. And especially because, you know, Gecko was using his ultimate, you could have just easily teleported onto tower. That was the safest location for you. You can just easily reset and go like, go tower. Yep, this round we should not have lost. Okay. We jump spot this angle, get the info. Jump spot, no, you don't walk. You don't give these duels to your teammates. Like, whenever you're going C and then, you know, we're making steps, like, always knife in the hands, and run in front of your teammates, do a wide jump spot, get the info. When you get the info, you decide how you want to fight, where you want to fight. We run down C. Go C. What was the problem, man? Like, we got a kill on the chamber, like, so you kill the chamber. We know that enemies, like, you know, play maximum 1 or 2 players on C. Run it down, especially this eco round, halberd round. How can you tell if you're playing on too low a sense of touch? Shooting is really headshots are in, but something is not right. Listen, without any private coaching, like, when it comes to sensitivity, brother, play on everything that feels comfortable to you. That's it. And make sure that you keep your DPI in between these lines. And that's it. Like, so this is the lowest point. 160. This is the highest point. 320. So that's the best advice I can give you. If flicking, tracking, everything feels natural for you, without any coaching, just play on that sensitivity and then that's it.
Okay.
I'm speaking to someone in the chat, like, not you, but
Okay.
what you should be doing here is just pushing CISA with your teammates and not letting them die. And also, listen, on the attacker side, there are only 2 players that you should be micro-correcting and telling them what to do in most of your matches. The player number 1 is a controller. Controller should always be giving you the proper smokes for every execute. But you are playing a controller, so we don't need to worry about that. Player number 2 is a sentinel, especially if that sentinel is a chamber. Like, if you're doing a 5-man push on the C side, like, this is the trademark that your chamber should give you. 5-man push A, this one right here. A B split, this one right here. 5-man push B, this one right here. Like, I don't know what the fuck are his trips. And also, keep in mind, like, if there's any chamber main in the chat, like, the point of your trademark is not to hide it. The point is that that trademark should give me the info whether or not an enemy is behind me, and whether or not enemies push something aggressively. It's okay, enemies can see it. Enemies can destroy it, it's fine. But if enemies can smoke it off or even cross it, because I think they can literally go through Omen here like this, that's a bad fucking trip. Okay, we should be sending it. Hey, we should just go. Just see, sorry. And also listen. In ranked solo queue, no matter what type of a plan you have, you know, no matter like what you designed in your own head, what you want to do at that moment of time, if your teammates are not following your plan, just adapt to your teammates. If your teammates still want to go C here, just go C with them. Especially if you have a huge numbers advantage. And whenever you give some kind of a call out to your teammates in ranked solo queue, hey guys, let's rotate A, for an example. For 3 seconds, you do nothing. For 3 seconds, you're just observing what the fuck are my teammates gonna do. Because if they are not going, then we are fucked. Pomidor, Polish. Think about it. Think about it. There's one Papito in Valorant, and there's one in Counter-Strike, huh? The other one is Polish, you know? So. Same hairline. Same hairline. Big nose. Once again, similar in the previous post plans. Like if your teammates want to play aggressively, just support your most aggressive teammates. They have the highest chance of dying. In this example, once again, that should be either Phoenix or Chamber, but probably Chamber.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you know, we can still win the round here by playing passively and just dropping a paranoia and mowing down the enemies with a stinger, but it's always easier winning the rounds by fighting with your teammates and abusing the economy or numbers advantage rather than, you know, ending up in some kind of a 1v1 or 1v2 that you need to pull out of your ass. Did you ever go pro in CS? Ha! I don't know if you can call it a pro level, you know, pro if I was only playing tier 2 and tier 3 tournaments, like. Basically, all of the tournaments I played in was like 50k, 100k, and... it was not like, it was like 75k, 50k back in the days. That's like the maximum amount of money. Mostly 5k. Okay. We should go. Very good. Open the doors. Very good. Jiggle in, jiggle out. This is why you want to back off from the doors. Like, you don't want to get fucked like this, or from an enemy that is playing some off angle or some bullshit like that, or an enemy that is playing a shotgun on the right side. You open the doors, like this. Go back. Now, in. Out. Expect the enemies here. Check this position, then move in. Very good that we got fucked there. Once again, this teleport, you never do it. Ever. Never. Too risky. Way too risky. Even with that flash. Don't waste your time spamming that box, just drop down and clear it. And listen, like, no matter how good of an off angle you have, or whichever position you have, as soon as that position becomes useless for you, meaning that you cannot support your teammates anymore from that position, and you cannot fight on every single angle on which your teammates can fight at that moment of time, leave that position. No matter if it is on the attacker side or a defender side. But you have 3 teammates here. What if they start dying from the site? Like, a huge problem for you on the attack is that you really don't play on a refrag potential whatsoever. Like, how many rounds we played so far? Like, we played 9 rounds on the attack. Was there one round where you played like some kind of a proper like refrag game with your teammates and then some double swing, something like that? And maybe like 2 out of 9 rounds we played on a refrag potential. Like, you really need to focus a bit more on team play rather than anything else on the attack. Yeah. once again, in this postman, we just play as aggressive as our most aggressive teammates. The best position right now is getting up here. Definitely. We cannot peek that angle because enemies can be waterfall. You never peek this angle when the waterfall is open. You just can't do it. It's way too risky. You know? If enemies are waterfall, you're dead. And there's no reason to push the enemies this aggressively. Like, when you're trying to fuck up enemies with a paranoia, on both attackers and defender side, like, the perfect moment of time to fuck up enemies with a paranoia is when the enemies are wide open somewhere where they cannot run away. Like, for example, on the attacker side, in this post plant, if I want to kill this race, I don't want to drop a paranoia when she's in the CT and I'm all the way on the site. I will wait for that race to be somewhere here, then I'm gonna pop the paranoia and run her down.
Okay, okay.
One tip when it comes to the Sage wall, whenever your teammates are destroying the Sage wall, you should be pre-aiming on top of the wall. Like, you should be ready for the Sage peak, because your teammates are never gonna be ready for the Sage peak. I mean, most of the times they're gonna just be focused on destroying the wall and that's it. I don't know, where are you going, like, what are we doing, like, I know we don't have a spike, but it's okay, man, like, you know, like, it's better at minute 27 if I take the C site, if I support my teammates that are moving in, and I refrag my teammates, rather than picking up this spike that is, like, 20 meters away from us. Fuck it, we can pick up this spike later, you know? You can also pick it up with the ultimate, if the enemies take the control of it. But what you cannot pick up is your dead teammates from the graves. From the grave. Here, you know, you should be using a smokes, using a paranoia, supporting the raise, moving in with a teleport, and that's it. And we pick up the spike once we take the side control. Okay, that's a good pick by the Shambur. Alrighty. Good plant position. Okay. A bit of a lucky round, not gonna lie. Okay, so C was kinda working for you, and now we don't go C. Okay. This teleport right here is mega useless. Like, when, for example, like, I mean, I can only explain, like, why this teleport is useless. Because, like, it's very situational, like, when and how you should be using the Omen teleport. But this specific teleport is useless because, number one, you're not really taking any useful information for your team whatsoever. Anyways, as we go through the doors, we're going together, we're playing on a refrag potential, we're gonna drop some kind of a paranoia, flash, drone, we can easily fight for this control. Number two, if there's no enemies here in the tree, and you just commit to this teleport, like, what did you do exactly? You know, pretty much nothing. But, if, for an example, let's say you played with your teammates here, we move into the tree, and then, after you use your smokes, you dropped a teleport, let's say, like this. Oh, that's pretty okay shit. TP here, TP backside, TP here, like, you see exactly where are the enemies, what the fuck is going on, you know? And even if you don't commit to that teleport, it's okay. Now I know exactly where are the enemies, where should I fight, where should I drop a paranoia, etc, etc. Like, most of the times in ranked solo queue, like, you should be using your teleport to make the sandwich out of the enemies as your teammates are going for the execute. Like, in this example, like, if your teammates are going out through here, you should be using your TP somewhere here, so that enemies, you know, that are playing at the backside or in the drop, they need to worry about you and about the enemies that are going up front. Or just using it as an information gathering tool, you know, like, just to scout how many enemies are on the site, where are the enemies exactly, and to make the pressure onto them. Well, that was a pretty easy ultimate to destroy. We definitely need to work on your aim a bit. They really need to plant a spike in this position, you know, when you know exactly where are both of these enemies. I mean, pretty much we can play this post plant from the tower as well in the drop, like, we know exactly the position of both Sage and Clove. I mean, at least we should have heard that Sage. This is literally the worst thing that can happen to you in these 2v2s and 2v1s. Like, you completely separate yourself from your teammate. Like, whenever you end up in a 2v2 or 2v1, make sure that you can fight the enemies on the same angle from which your teammates can die. Like here, you're playing the spy here. Your Tejo wanna play at the backside, you play at the backside. Your Tejo wanna go tower, go tower. Fight one angle at a time. Okay. Rule number 1 for the overtimes is like, whatever enemies did the most in the regular part of the match is what you should expect on a defender side as well. So, in this game, just take that aim and control, because enemies are probably gonna go A. We can fuck up these enemies in aim in so many different ways. Just pushing them back with utility, picking up the operator and then just moving them down, and like holding this angle, playing up top here, like telling our teammates to destroy the Gecko Flash, then dropping down, opening the doors early on, and then from this position, fucking them up with the operator, or just, as I said, like taking the space with a utility. Buy the Odin, you know, kill them with the Odin, I don't know. But playing C in a match where enemies mostly went A, that was not the greatest idea ever. Shit. Okay. On the attacker side as well, I mean, like, in ranked solo queue, just make the play based on the regular parts of the match. Because players usually rarely adapt. The match already lasted way too long. You know, players lost the focus and willpower to play. So, once again, right now, farm and push onto C set or some kind of a fake A go C strategy would be the best. And telling our chamber to not be imbecile and to play with us. I don't know, like, why you're clearing this box in that way, like, you know, it's also way too risky. Like, this prey doesn't guarantee to you that you're gonna kill this guy. It's much better if you just go through here, clear the box, and now, not only that you clear the box, but also you're ready to swing with your teammates and play with them as they're fighting the enemies in the C side and C long area of the map. Okay. Everything else we're gonna discuss through private messages on Discord. Like, on a defender side, you can definitely have a bit more... First of all, you can have a much better positioning overall, based on what enemies are doing, how they're playing, and based on some of these very common rules that you should be following. Number 2, you can be abusing angles a bit more. Like, usually most of your fights finish on 1 or 2 angles. You should try abusing off angles a bit more, and when it comes to utility usage on a defender side, it can be a bit more meaningful. Very, very rarely you went for some kind of an actual outplay or outplay that is actually good. And you definitely need to dive in the ranked playbook as well. Quite deep. On the attacker side, the main thing that's kind of fucking you up is, you're letting your teammates do whatever the fuck they want. And also, the distance between you and your most aggressive teammates can be much shorter. You kind of are playing a bit far back in a lot of the rounds. And when you play up front, you're not really jump spotting the angles or clearing the angles properly, you're just running down, to be fair. One thing that's really effing you up in a lot of rounds is definitely the map awareness. I don't feel that you're checking your minimap as much as you should. So those are the things that we're mainly gonna tackle with the training that you're gonna be doing for the next 8 weeks. When it comes to the aim training, you mostly struggle during the movement heavy fights. When you need to hold an angle, hold a peak, or just play statically, that's fine for you. I would say that your aim in those type of fights is Ascendant 3 Mortal 1 level. But when a target is moving heavily, and you need to move as well, to be unpredictable or to, fuck up their crosshair placement, nobody knows who's gonna win that fight. So we're mainly gonna focus on your gunplay, hygiene, and we're gonna focus on just connecting those left hand with the right hand type of shit, through mainly death matches, TDM, and some practice range training that I'm gonna share with you later or tomorrow. So you're gonna be doing that training for the next 8 weeks. I'm also gonna give you some private coaching videos that you're gonna watch that are gonna help you with 90% of these problems, and that's gonna be your initial plan. For the next 8 weeks. Then after those 8 weeks, we'll see how much you improve, how much you progress, digress, etc., etc. Now, when it comes to agents that you should main, I don't know. Omen can definitely stay, and we can still stick to the initial plan that I mentioned during the tracker review. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much you can just stick to the, initial shit that I mentioned, during the tracker review. Omen is not really the problem. Problem is just that you have more of these gameplay problems that we need to fix. It's not like an agent related problem. I would definitely like to see how would you develop yourself as a player on something that is a bit more, it has a bit more freedom, such as Jet, Phoenix, for an example. So what I would advise is for the next 8 weeks, choose either Jet or Phoenix as your main agent, pick Omen as a flex, and pick Chamber as a fill. I don't know, you already have 2 duelists and a controller, you pick Chamber, for an example. On the maps where you feel confident with the Omen, pick the Omen. And between these 2 agents, you need to choose which one of these characters suits you the best. But I would probably go with a Phoenix for now, just so that you can focus a bit more on general team play, pathing, scaling up, utility usage, engaging enemies properly with your movement, and then clearing the angles properly. You just have a lot of small gaps left and right, and that's why you're gonna get some kind of a very, very general training that you're gonna be doing for the next 8 weeks. Do you have any questions right now?
Oh, it's everything clear. Really, I really appreciate everything what you
Okay, my
told
man.
me. I really thank you.
In that case, we're just gonna continue our talk through private messages, and for the next 7 days, you have my 24/7 support. You can ask me as many questions as you want, especially once you go through all of the documents and all of the videos that I share with you, and the training as well. Okay, Coquito, it was nice meeting you. Thank you for coming here, and we are gonna continue everything else privately. Okay?
Okay. Really, thank you.
All good, man. All good, man. Good night, and bye-bye.
Night.
See ya. Okay, chat. Nothing else for you. Sorry. some things need to be private. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the good stuff. See ya in the next one. Roll the closer. Bye bye.